My favorite question that they asked, though, from public policy polling, when they polled Americans, they asked them, "Are you in favor of bombing Agrabah?" 30% of Republicans said yes. 19%.
That's Aladdin.
19% of Democrats said yes. It's the fictional country in Aladdin. Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, it sounds bad. Let's bomb it.
I mean, Jafar is a pretty bad dude. We should
Yeah.
probably try to take him out.
At least take that staff.
Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Thursday. It's June 20th, 6:20. That means today's Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to all
Happy
who celebrate.
Juneteenth, Eric. I was going to bring it up, man. Thank you.
Yeah, Juneteenth. I think it was like part of my take 2016. We recorded an episode on Juneteenth, and I said Happy Juneteenth, and nobody really talked about Juneteenth, at least in this world back then. I didn't even really know what it was. I just knew that living in Texas for 10 years, it's a big deal. Like it's a massive holiday down there. But yeah, now it's being widely celebrated. So happy Juneteenth to all who celebrate.
Yeah, we used to have family reunions in LA. Every time we used to go travel to LA, have family reunions on Juneteenth. Dope.
Yeah. Good times. We got Chaps sitting in today. Uncle Chaps making his return to Macrodosing.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
It's great to see you. I told Chaps earlier today he looks good. He said he thinks it's just the shirt.
Yeah, I think it's just a shirt.
Oh, it's a good shirt.
Thanks.
I would wear that shirt every day if I were you because you look good, Chaps. You look strapping.
I do. I look strong.
Yeah, we've got a very interesting episode today. We're going to talk about reptilians, the reptilian people. They walk amongst us. I first learned about reptilians back in like 2008, I think.
Yeah, about I was like 7 or 8. That's when YouTube was first, gaining its legs, like in the dormitories. And David Icke was prevalent on the YouTube back then.
Yeah, there was I remember the video of George W. Bush that convinced me. It showed, because he had those beady little eyes.
Yeah.
And there was this one clip, I'm sure it was doctored somehow. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe he's actually a reptile. But like his eyes were just all pupils. And then it showed like him breathing out of the side of his eyes. It honestly convinced me for a little bit.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I was like, this dude's a reptile. Yeah, so we're going to get into that. Pretty excited about it. Good conversation coming up. Chaps, how have you been?
I've been doing great.
Yeah, what you working on?
Like work or here?
Just in general.
General golf game.
Yeah.
Trying to get that right. I just did a over 100-mile bike ride last weekend. It's called Tour de Shore, where you start at Millennium Park and end up in New Buffalo, Michigan. So that was a good time.
I've heard that's a good town.
New Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, it's a good little beach town. I would say it's quaint. It's a very quaint little area.
Big T, give me your criteria for a good town.
Well, that one I've obviously not been to, but I've had people tell me you should take a weekend and go to New Buffalo. They've got some cool stuff there. Good town.
Yeah, city planner, Big T.
At least 2, like, you're going to this city, or like you're going to want to do these 2 things. They've got to have 2 things.
Uh-huh.
Can be anything, but you've got to have multiple. If there's a beach nearby, that oftentimes will make the town a little better.
Yeah.
Sand on the sidewalks, that kind of vibe. Airbrush t-shirt. Beach towns are often good towns. That doesn't
Destin. You're talking Destin, Florida.
Doesn't necessarily make it a good town, but it helps. Good people.
Ice cream shop?
Depends. Yeah, if you have like a local ice cream spot, you're like, this is our spot, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
None of this chain nonsense. Are you familiar with Kilwins?
Kilwins, no.
So Kilwins is apparently a national chain that I was very disappointed to find out that was the case, because I thought it was like a Florida thing. Turns out they're everywhere, which has kind of ruined it for me. But just general vibes make a place a good town.
I also like when a place has like 2 of the same chain restaurant in it. So what's your favorite chain restaurant?
Chili's.
Okay, so if there's 2 Chili's in
That'd
a
be
town,
solid. Yeah.
I like that because that way you have the good Chili's and the other Chili's.
True.
So when you go to the good Chili's, you really feel like you're going to something even bigger than a
Yeah,
Chili's.
no, in Mount Juliet, there's a good Sonic and a bad Sonic.
Yeah, and you know which one's which, and
Yep.
you stay away from the bad one. You go to the good one.
Wendy's is very high variance too.
Yeah, I would say so. The bad Wendy's are always, I think they're the dirtiest fast food places.
Yes.
Just trash everywhere.
Either the
in bad
cleanest
Wendy's.
or the dirtiest.
Yes, you get trash, just wrappers everywhere on the floor. There's usually only one person working the register at the bad Wendy's. They're always out of all the good stuff. Wendy's, they haven't really done much innovation, have they?
No.
I went on Uber Eats the other day, and they have a mixed berry Frosty now.
Saw that. Not a fan. Haven't had it. The Frosty is a chocolate thing.
Or a vanilla.
No. When they introduced vanilla, that's when things started to really go downhill. That's when they got rid of like the sunrooms.
Yeah.
That's when the yellow boxes and cups went away.
Yeah.
The vanilla Frosty, and I hadn't thought of this, I'm fleshing this out just now, that could be attributable for the downfall of Wendy's.
This is like
I honestly agree with that. Like, I think that Wendy's was on top, and then they try to do too much. Mixed berry, pick one berry. Mm-hmm. If you have many berries, you don't have one.
Yeah.
I tried the
Blueberry?
creamsicle one. It was awful.
The Big T's rant about Frosties is exactly the Megyn Kelly rant about Santa. Frosties are chocolate. They just are.
100%.
Yeah. I'm with you. Can I be honest with you guys?
Yep.
Never really got to dipping the fries in the Frosty
Oh,
thing.
that's crazy that you don't get that.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
I did. I never really got it. I like Frosties. I like fries.
I prefer to do it with the Dairy Queen and the Blizzard, though.
Oh.
Dip the fries in the
What kind of blizzard?
What kind of blizzard?
Well, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. A lot of time it's going to be bright, but if I'm doing that, I like to go with like the s'more.
Okay.
Ooh, that's good.
Interesting. Food at Dairy Queen, underrated.
So underrated.
Unless it's the tacos. If you
I
get
didn't
the
know they had tacos.
Yeah, they have tacos at the one. You've seen it, right? Right? The ones in Texas?
The what kind of tacos?
The Dairy Queen?
Dairy Queen tacos?
You never had those ones? Or they'll have that or the brisket fingers. Have you ever seen those?
You got to be in a bad.
You're getting into the deep depths of the Dairy Queen menu. I've never heard.
Yeah, that's
of.
the one. Maybe it's just the one in Helotes, Texas has that.
You have to.
Yeah,
be-
so this is interesting. So I Googled Dairy Queen tacos and it takes me to dqtexas.com.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are these specifically branded differently in Texas?
Yeah.
Because it says Texas Tea brand tacos.
Yep, it's instant diarrhea. Instant.
DQ. That's what I like about Texas. They've got
Oh,
their own theme song
wow.
down
Yeah.
there.
So
You know, I've
there's
never
a
really attributed that to.
there's a specifically different Texas brand of Dairy Queen.
Yeah, Dairy Queen, Texas seceded from the Union.
It
I did not
yeah.
know this.
all their like all the packaging has the state of Texas on it too.
That's crazy.
And a star. That's one of the shocking things I learned when I moved to Texas was how many brands have their Texas specific thing that they sell in Texas.
What other ones?
Like all the beers.
Jack in the Box has some.
Yeah, Jack in the Box does.
I think that's like
Another
a-
underrated spot.
Almost every
regionally
beer
they
you
have that a lot
has it.
though.
Jack in
So,
the
like-
Box used to be good. It's trash now.
I haven't been in a while.
I remember growing up in New Mexico, like if you go to McDonald's, they have green chili cheeseburgers, and them shits are crazy good. Like if you like Hatch green chili, which is a very specific spice in the
I love Hatch
Southwest.
chili.
Hatch is
yeah.
amazing. So McDonald's, Burger King, a lot of these places will sell Hatch green chili cheeseburgers, Hatch this, Hatch that. So I think that might be a regional thing, like Carl's Jr. too. It might be Hardee's, Theo.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to live in Japan, the McDonald's was so wildly different.
Was
They
it not
had-
good? That shit was bomb, wasn't it?
Sometimes, like they get in front of their skis a little bit too. Like having the fried shrimp burger is a little much. Like
Yeah,
diced up
when I-
shrimp into a fillet, that's a little much.
Yeah.
I might have this like euphoric feeling about Japan because like when I went to Japan, I went there for like 10 days and I like moved around. So we went to like Tokyo, then we went to like Kyoto, which was my favorite place. We went to like 5 different cities. And everything that they do there, it's just with so much care.
Yes, that is true.
They care about everything. So the McDonald's there was so much better. It was just they cared so much.
Because it
And
looks
so,
like a commercial. Like
Yeah.
like their double cheeseburger looks like you could take a picture of it and it would be in a commercial like immediately.
they cared, dog. They cared. I went to this, and maybe I told the story, but I went to this I went shopping at some clothing store department or whatever. And like, you know, I'm getting the clothes I want and they won't let me carry them. So like they like kind of pull them from me and they're like, we'll take them. we'll take them. And so they take all my clothes and they fold them up all nice and pretty, and they put them in this bag, and then like they walk me out the door holding my bags. And as I'm like exiting the door, they hand me my bags and they just sit there and bow.
Yeah.
Until they see me walk around the corner. I'm like,
Yep.
that is crazy shit. And then I come back to America, and then I was like, hey, yo, where's the carousel 8? He's like, I don't know, man. Go look over there. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I mean, going into a Japanese store, the way that you're treated is just so wildly different. Like, you walk in and everybody's like, "Sumimasen, arigatou," like, which translates to like, "Excuse me, thank you for coming." Like, they apologize for you coming to their store, like, for essentially existing while you're trying to buy a T-shirt.
That's so nice.
That's something I would do.
That's really nice. I want to drop like the most American, like boorish, in your face, I'm entitled American, just in the middle of Japan, and just watch them be like, finally, everyone's treating me like I should be.
Yeah,
like it's really good for one person over there.
It's like that when you go out, like when we go out to eat, it's very customary to be loud and like boisterous and you know express our whatever. Over there, it's like it's kind of considered rude.
Oh
to
yeah,
like be loud and stuff like that. Except this one place. So I was in Kyoto, and we went to this bar, and it was owned by this dude from I think Italy. And when he walks in, like when you walk in, he just yells. He goes, "Hey!" And then everybody goes, "Hey!" And it was because I was there for like 8 days at that point. I was like, "Yo, this is wow! Like, why is it like this?" And so we get to talk, and he spoke English. We get to talk, and he was like, "I like to fuck with the natives here because they're so uptight." And so like I like this experience to be exact opposite of that. And so he's like, I get so many regulars because everybody just likes the difference of me being loud and boisterous and stuff. He was really cool. He said some of the most powerful shit I've ever heard too, by the way. He said because he spoke 5 different languages. He went to Japan with no money, and he ended up opening a bar, and he just loved his life. He said some of the realest shit ever. He's like, you'll never meet anybody who speaks multiple languages that's closed-minded. He said because if you learn a language, you're learning the way in which the window into which how people see the world, and it forces you to see the world through other people's eyes. And I was like, that shit is fucking crazy gem to drop on me on a vacation. That's fun.
that is true.
That's good. That's really good. Have you guys gone to the American equivalent of that restaurant, which is Dick's Last Resort?
Yeah, I love Dick's Last Resort.
Do you love it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Mackenzie
Roast
loves
me, daddy. Yeah.
Mackenzie loves Dick's Last Resort.
No, I remember like going there with my family when I was like so young, and it was just like the funniest thing ever.
I can see Mackenzie walking in there, just like sitting down very neatly at a table, just with a big smile on her face, waiting for the waiter to come over and just insult the fuck out of her.
I wanted to take my mother-in-law there, like my Uber, like Baptist deep South mother-in-law. She would have been absolutely in shambles.
Like, this is really fun. You're gonna really enjoy this. You just bring her there just so that they'll make fun of her.
Yeah,
and you get to watch.
Wait, so I know what Dick's Last Resort is, but Big T doesn't, and he wanted to know what it was.
Okay, Big T. So Dick's Last Resort. Thank you for thinking of others, Madeline.
You're welcome. I'm very
big
selfless.
of you.
Stealing my fucking bit.
Dick's Last Resort is a restaurant that you go to. It's a dining experience, really. It's not just a restaurant. You sit down, and then the waiter comes over and just berates you and treats you like shit for the entire meal.
Medieval times, but for getting people being an asshole to you.
Is that the one where they like write the thing on a
Yes.
hat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been to one of those.
I want to talk to a waiter at Dick's Last Resort to see like what that's like. If it helps if you're a real jerk, or if some of the nicest people in the world work there and they just flip the character on and then they get off work and they're nice again. Because you got to tap into a part of your body of your brain that is it's a dark place. Or I guess you could probably just learn the good lines from the servers that have been there a while.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of a training up process there.
Like
what's the line? Like,
Yeah.
how far can you go?
Yeah. Or has anybody ever crossed it? Has anybody ever like gotten into a physical altercation with their server at Dick's Last Resort because they didn't know what the restaurant was?
Has to. I bet they have a great Reddit page, actually.
Oh, no, there's good TikToks of that, of people taking like their grandmas and stuff there without telling them. And then they walk in and the hostess is like...
that's messed up, man.
But it's funny.
Up. Oh, yeah, it's good.
It's a good prank to pull on somebody. Like, you get somebody, it would be perfect if you got somebody from Japan that was like on vacation here. They spoke English, but they've never been to the United States. Be like, this is our dining experience.
Their brain would be in a tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up that because you made a good point there, chaps. I bet you there's probably like AMAs with Dick's Last Resort waiters. Ask me anything. Let's see. Dick's Last Resort. I worked at Dick's Last Resort for 4 years. Ask me anything. Let's see what this has to offer here. It'd also be very funny if just nobody asked questions. Let's see. Asking about applying for the job. Heading into the season, we'd have big auditions that were basically improv shows with direction from the manager. I did not prefer this method, as funny isn't the same from person to person. But any other time that wasn't open auditions, you just walk in and apply. What are you looking for? I'd see how well you could read me. How you respond to my body language and line of questioning is more important than the content of the answer itself. Reading people is the most vital aspect of the job, and one of the reasons I was successful at ripping people to shreds for their enjoyment. It's not enough just to mock somebody or point at them and say your shirt is stupid. You have to be able to assess everyone around while also being quick. I often told my team, you don't have to be funny if you're fast. A quick witty comeback was better. I showed up to my interview looking top dollar. 2-piece suit, purple tie. I looked fucking good. I walked into the hotel lobby, made my way to the breakfast area, saw a guy in short khakis, a golf shirt, and a Dick's Last Resort logo cap. Obviously my guy. He was on the phone but saw me, pointed at the logo on his cap, and asked with his eyes. I nodded, sat down. After a few moments, he hung up the phone and approached the table. I stood up and shook his hand as we introduced ourselves. His next line was, "You sure dressed up for this one." I replied, "One of us had to." And I knew that I had just torpedoed the entire thing. I wasn't going to get the job. I stuck out, at least. He cocked an eyebrow and chuckled. The rest of the interview was fluff. That was great. I mean, that's a good line to just like roast the person that's giving the interview. This person's talking about when guests would try to give it back to them. There's definitely a bunch of people that go to Dick's Last Resort and they're ready.
Oh yeah,
with like the one-liners.
I've been liquored up a little bit, getting ready to throw some haymakers.
Yeah, so they were told to say, "You're not funny, we are." Pretty good Uno card right there. They try to keep it PG-13, not R. This person says. Let's see.
Can't drop cunt and nothing like that.
No, maybe you can. I think it's just about reading people. I'm trying to find any good questions about good Dick's Last Resort stories. And there's also there's a place here in Chicago. What's it called? Is it Ed DeBevick's?
Well, the Wiener Circle does it.
Wiener Circle does it? I feel like there's another restaurant that's native to Chicago that like started the Dick's Last Resort thing. Let's see any other good questions here. Anytime somebody orders a big ass beer and it has a big head on it, I drop it off and say, "Well, it's nice having a big ass, but good head is important too." That's just a golf one-liner right there. How do you come up with phrases for the hats? I generally chat up my table and pick something in particular to tease them about, usually where they are from, what they're wearing, superficial stuff. We also have a list if a table isn't giving us anything to work with. My favorite was a table with a kid, maybe late teens, early 20s. His sister ratted him out saying he loved Dragon Ball Z. So I thought about it, came back with a hat. I had him stand up next to me and yell, I don't know how to say this, Kamehameha. Okay, this is not that good. But they've got lists. So
it's not that funny, or it's offensive and you won't say it.
No, it's just not that funny. Maybe because I'm not a Dragon Ball Z guy.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I think it's just a very funny concept where people go sit down and get roasted.
That should be a thing that our interns have to do. They have to go work a shift at. That should be like a fantasy football punishment.
That's a good idea.
Like where you have to go work a weekend at Dick's.
Yeah, I like that. I would love to see, McKinsey as a server having to roast people would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would be so bad. I would be like, I would say something, then I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That
I hope
said
you know
that.
this is a joke.
Yeah.
Kate would be the all-time worst.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She would
be
apologize
so
every
similar to
third
Kate.
word.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might be part Japanese.
She could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, my skin's just crawling thinking about that.
No.
You know what would happen? We sent White Sox Dave there, and then he would just get into a fight with his tables.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yep.
That's the step up from Dick's Last Resort, just a restaurant where your server actually tries to beat you up, and you have to beat up your waiter to
So
get
White
food.
Sox Days food truck.
Yeah, that would rock. What's your guys' favorite sit down casual chain restaurant?
Casual
Waffle House.
chain.
Oh,
What'd you say, Aaron?
Waffle House.
Oh, mine's Cracker Barrel.
Fuck yeah.
does P.F. Chang's count?
Yep.
P.F. Chang's.
TGI Fridays.
You like TGI Fridays?
Yeah.
Random.
Potato skins are fire from there.
Yeah.
I choked on one of their mozzarella sticks one time and wasn't allowed to eat mozzarella sticks for 2 years after that.
Oh no, that's tragic.
That's harsh. That's a harsh punishment.
Wait, what do you mean not allowed to?
My mom wouldn't let me have mozzarella sticks.
How old were you?
Like 12.
Well, it's a little,
I
it's a little
know.
old to be dictating.
14, you're back on mozzarella sticks, and 15, you're learning to
I
drive.
got back
Those are big mott sticks, though.
because you know how
I'm
TGI
sober
Fridays.
for mozzarella sticks.
You know how TGI Fridays sells the like frozen food, like in Target or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I would get those all the time, and I, choked on the mozzarella stick. My mom was like, "You got to stop with this." And she had to like help me not choke. So
Was
I think
it like a perpetual thing? Like you kept choking on mozzarella sticks? And she
no
just
one
never
time
could-
thing?
She was probably just like scared
Yeah,
for you to eat them.
yeah. I'm back on the mozzarella stick game though.
Thank
Well,
God.
how do you choke on it? Like, did you just not chew
The
it?
cheese, like the cheese. Yeah, I like the cheese kept going, and it. I'm not gonna do any gestures, but the cheese kept going, and I couldn't swallow it all. I don't want to say that.
Pause.
It's an interesting restaurant to pick as like your favorite chain, though.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like,
you love it.
yeah. Growing up, I loved going to TGI Fridays.
I heard they don't have what, like an oven there?
Oh, really?
They have microwaves.
Oh, maybe.
I always thought it was really fancy. I thought
Yeah.
TGI Fridays was a fancy spot.
They've got good drinks. They have drinks.
They have drinks.
They have drinks there. There was a big scandal like 15 years ago, maybe, where every TGI Fridays on the East Coast was compromised with their liquor supply.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
What do you
it
mean by
It
that?
was like a big deal. So that what they would do, they would take the top shelf bottles, and after they poured all the drinks out of top shelf bottles, they would fill them back up with like the bad shit.
Oh,
and put them
no.
back on the top shelves. And it was massive fraud. Like,
Yeah, that's
I think people went
crazy.
to prison for it. Like serious
Yeah.
prison executives did that.
Jesus.
It was all up and down the Mid-Atlantic. Yeah, it was a big deal.
Did the like higher ups know about this? Like they were like, do this?
I don't know how the franchise model works. If it might have been some of the biggest franchise owners that had multiple locations that
Like,
got in trouble
do
for
this.
it. I don't think it was corporate. I don't think corporate was telling them, hey, like, make sure to put the
Well, vodka.
Yeah.
put the Burnett's up in the Grey Goose.
Arian, I didn't know you loved Waffle House like that.
Yeah, you did.
I mean,
been there.
yeah, I know we've been there, but I've never heard you say it's your favorite restaurant.
That's my favorite. Your favorite chain restaurant.
Well, yeah,
Favorite casual
I-
chain restaurant.
Obviously, do they have them in Texas?
Yeah, they got them everywhere.
Not as
I
everywhere as
fell,
you
I
think.
fell in love with Waffle House in college. It was the meter spot after every long night. We would all go to Waffle House, and you remember I knew my order just like that. I was like bang 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 bang. Knew
Yeah.
exactly how to get-
24/7, 365.
I've never been
Waffle
to
House
one.
bomb, bro.
Unless things get really bad, and that's when FEMA knows.
The only
Yep.
time I've been is with him.
So you like Cracker Barrel more than Waffle House.
Yeah.
Is it the rocking chairs?
It's for me, it's the hash brown casserole.
Strong.
That shit
I
hit
love
too. Yeah, that shit hit.
It's so good. And you can get a killer breakfast and walk out with a nice candle.
Yeah, the store in Waffle House. Maybe the all-time greatest marketing miscalculation was when Waffle House took the Duck Dynasty DVDs off their shelves. Or excuse me, Cracker Barrel did that.
Yeah, but they had the audiobook game on lock for a while too.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Where
No.
they had like the library where you could check out a library book, audiobook from Cracker Barrel and turn it back into any other Cracker Barrel that you were into.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they would have that, and they would do like praise and worship CDs that they would have, like the new ones that would come out.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
It's got a great smell in a Cracker Barrel too.
Oh yeah, and they have to make a good portion of money from that little store, because why else would you give up that much footprint at the beginning of your store when they're usually pretty packed on Sundays?
Yeah, well, because they have a wait on Sundays.
Yeah,
There's
so
always a
people are
wait for brunch.
shopping.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna browse through the trinkets.
Yeah, you need a
Right.
throw blanket.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that I needed a marionette of like Lilo and Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is.
I
Got
need a
it.
mason jar full of apple butter.
Yeah, I
Moon
do.
pies.
That apple butter is so good, dude.
Yeah, moon pies are great too.
Yep.
Chocolate
Charleston
ones.
chews.
Were you guys good at the golf tee game?
No, never beat it.
Pretty smart. That's when you leave one, right?
Yeah, that's usually. I would usually get 1 or 2 left. Never got the full kit and caboodle.
You're just playing ignoramus. That's what it says on it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Are you reading that or did you remember that?
No, I remembered it.
Okay.
It's like leave 1 and you beat the game. Leave 2, you're pretty smart. Leave 3, I forget what 3 is, but 4 is just plain ignoramus.
Yeah.
That's how it ends. Yeah, good restaurant. I like their country fried steak too.
Mm-hmm. Chicken and dumplings.
Oh yeah, chicken
Oh, the
dumplings,
chicken
very
dumplings.
strong. But there is some. I'm going to side with the Arian on the Waffle House versus Cracker Barrel debate. There's just something nice.
Waffle
about it.
House is just
Waffle
such
House.
a vibe.
It is.
I mean, Cracker Barrel is too, I guess.
You can swing through Waffle House. Like, that's a swing through place. If you're going to Cracker Barrel, it's like destination. Like, that's where you're going.
Yeah.
You ever-
Checkers.
Yeah.
You ever eat alone at a Cracker Barrel?
Oh, yeah.
I've never done that at Cracker Barrel. But I've eaten alone at a Waffle House many times. That might be my number 1 restaurant to eat alone at.
Well, I've never done it since at Cracker Barrel since you can't smoke inside.
Okay.
That's been a
Like
while.
you
Inside a Waffle House?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was when I was in my early 20s, like right when I was in the Marine Corps. You could go, there was one outside of Camp Lejeune, and I would go in there and eat pancakes and rip heaters.
Six?
That's so good.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
I remember when Georgia got rid of like smoking and non-smoking sections in restaurants.
The most
And it was, like, a
nonsensical
big
shit
deal.
ever. Like, the difference is, what is it?
Yeah.
But people, I mean, you would have thought that shit was gospel back in the day.
I remember when they'd ask you.
Yeah. All they needed is one little piece of glass in a booth that was just a touch higher than the rest of them.
Uh-huh.
And that was the no smoking going on in here.
Yeah, kids these days don't understand that if you went out to a bar, you were going to come home, you were going to smell like smoke for a week.
Indiana's that way. When I did the bike ride this weekend, there was bars there that you could still smoke inside.
Yeah, that's how it used to be for every place. If you were going to go out at night, you were going to smell like cigarettes, and that's it. But yeah, I got to imagine that there's certain laws that grandfather certain restaurants and bars into it, because there's one in Chicago.
Like hockey helmets.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are a bar that has allowed smoking since before the first smoking law was even put into place, maybe you've just been around long enough. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's people, when I tweeted it out, they're like, oh, you're not supposed to do that anymore. They definitely did it. And they had those vending machines that had like the pull knob that you can get the cigarettes out of too. So my buddies don't typically smoke. But when you're in a place that allows smoking indoors, and the pitchers were like $6.95 for a pitcher of beer, you got to do it. You absolutely have to smoke.
Yeah, my rule is if it's indoors, I will smoke. If there's a vending machine, a cigarette vending machine, I have to buy a pack.
Yeah.
Just because that might be your last time.
Do you smoke?
No.
Like, I don't know if you do or not. Like, sometimes I
No,
feel like you do, and sometimes I feel like you don't.
No, I really don't. If I'm at a place that allows smoking inside, I will smoke a cigarette. Yes. But I'm very rarely at those places.
Why is that so attractive to
It's
you?
so relaxing. It's luxurious.
So, yeah, I think you
It's a little
smoke.
taboo.
Well, okay. All right.
Was there ever a point in time you were a smoker?
Only when I drank.
That's what smokers say.
No, I have really not had that many sober cigarettes.
Well, you used to drink a lot, though.
I did, yes. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why smokers usually use a, like they have a cape. They have a defense mechanism, and it's always like, but it's only social. But it's
I
only
think you're a
whatever.
smoker if
I'm
you
not
smoke
shaming
before
you.
5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a 5 p.m. smoker, before that, you're
So you can
you're
do
a
nights
smoker.
and weekends and not
Yeah.
be a smoker?
Yeah, like an old Verizon plan for 3 minutes.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if it's Friday night, I'm at a bar, you can smoke inside, and I'm planning on being at that bar for a couple hours, I'm going to rip some heaters.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
See, you make it sound so cool too.
Oh,
Rip
yeah.
some heaters. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
I've never been addicted to cigarettes.
I don't
And
know about that.
I know
You just really love smoking them
I
all
know
the time.
I know they're addictive. I know for a fact that it is addictive, but I've never come close to feeling addicted to them.
You sound like an addict right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Why? Because I'm saying I'm not.
I was just asking a question. Now, the more you talk, the more I'm convinced that you are addicted to cigarettes.
What'll you give me if I just stop smoking cigarettes right now?
Lungs.
I don't know. I got.
When's the last time you smoked a cigarette?
I smoked 15 cigarettes in 9 holes of golf like 2 Sundays ago.
And it was nothing.
It felt good.
You know what I'm saying?
Smoking on a golf course is elite, though.
It is. Yeah. I was shocked by the time I get to the 9th hole and I'm sucking down like cigarette number 14. And I'm like, I feel wonderful right now. Like that should make anybody want to throw up. No, I don't think I've ever been addicted, ever.
Can y'all explain to me how cigarettes make you feel, like, in comparison
Cool.
to alcohol?
Really cool.
I don't think cigarettes, after you've done them a little bit, they do anything whatsoever. Like, I don't think they do anything. You get super dizzy at first. I don't get a single thing if I would smoke a cigarette. I mean, granted, I haven't smoked a cigarette in probably 5-6 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would get buzzed off my brain right now off of it. I'd probably get more fucked up off of a single Marlboro Red than I would a joint right now.
You do Lucy, Big T?
No.
You have ever done like any kind of tobacco in the mouth or anything like that?
No. I would vomit immediately.
All right. You know, like the very first vodka lemonade you drank at the ballpark?
Sure.
It's like that.
But, like, it takes a lot for me to feel anything. Like, first one, I feel
You know,
nothing.
You said that, and then we saw you drink live in San Diego, and now I'm not convinced.
Yeah, but nothing happened until I drank a bunch.
You drink like 7.
No, not
How
even
much?
close.
How much did you drink?
Like 13 or 14.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's a lot. Yeah,
It
that's
was
a lot.
more than 10.
I bet one strong cigarette that you finished in less than 4 minutes would have you buzzing off your brain.
Yeah, I'm sure probably the first one.
Yeah.
So we didn't do cigarettes, but every now and then we would do Black and Milds, like in college
Mhm.
and stuff. And so it would only work like when you drank. So when you drink, and then you would like hit a black, that buzz that you get from it it feels really good. I'm not
Arian
advocating this
Foster
anymore,
quote
by the
or Mark Wahlberg?
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about him except his troubled.
That's what I was
Wikipedia
referencing. Yeah.
section.
Yes.
My
If
tobacco.
you have enough to drink and hit a black, it feels awesome.
Just when you're 17, though.
Yeah. Listen,
Ah, that shit is fucking funny.
Arian,
Oh.
that's how I got started smoking too. Was actually Black and Milds. So in college, I would smoke Black and Milds, and I would inhale them, which you're not supposed to do. So whatever I was smoking then is like, I don't know, each one of those was probably worth like 6 cigarettes. And then I started smoking cigarettes when I drank, and then I quit cigarettes by smoking Black and Milds. Then I quit Black and Milds by smoking cigarettes. Then I quit cigarettes by vaping. Then I quit vaping by smoking cigarettes. Then I quit cigarettes by using dip. Then I quit dip by smoking cigarettes. Then I quit smoking cigarettes by using nicotine pouches. And that's where I'm at right now.
The definition of robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
No, but now I'm good.
Totally not addicted.
It worked.
Now I'm good.
Yeah.
Now I'm fine. And I never really was addicted to cigarettes. But there is news in the nicotine pouch industry today.
No more online.
Philip Morris has suspended the online sale of Zyn. So you can't buy it online anymore because there's allegations that they sold their flavored brands in Washington, D.C., where it was banned to sell the flavored brands of it. So right now they took it all down online. You can't get it, which this is as close to January 6th as we get as a company here at Barstool Sports. I think if you were to ban all nicotine pouches. No, you know what it is? It's abortion rights for guys that work at Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
Nicotine pouches.
This is Roe v. Wade.
Yes, it is. My body,
For
my
white 26-year-old
It's
dudes.
my body, my choice. I have the right to put nicotine pouches in my lips.
I feel
The
for you
government
guys.
they care so much about nicotine. It's insane.
Yeah. What's the equivalent of dudes like with Handmaid's Tale, where women are like wearing the bonnets and the
Yeah.
capes? What could we
What
do?
is
here?
Handmaid's Tale?
Handmaid's Tale is a TV show about basically this dystopian America where higher class people use lower class women as like indentured servants and basically like fertilization, like they like make them have children with them and stuff. The male equivalent to that, I probably just butchered that. I'm sorry, I didn't watch the whole show. is oh god, what would the male? I don't even know. Like
Getting rid of online betting again.
No, because like you're not forcing them to do something else.
But I'm saying how women like to get dressed up in the Handmaid's Tale outfit and then stand outside like the Supreme Court to protest like, look what you're turning us into.
Yeah.
For dudes, and we're not allowed to use nicotine pouches anymore. What are they trying to turn us into?
Pussies.
So we guys should wear the pussy hats,
Yeah.
the pink hats.
Can someone
Is this what you want?
Yeah.
Can someone explain to me what the difference is in selling it online and buying it in a store is?
I think online it's just way easier for people to buy.
Underage.
Maybe underage.
So they're going to make you have some shame, go into the store and have to look the guy in the eye.
To be fair, when
They ban it.
That
and so
works.
they're
That
selling
works.
it in places that are banned. So in order to do that, you just set up like a UPS box, and then you have it forwarded to a different location. So whenever you actually purchase it on Lucy or wherever, it'll say it's going to Texas, but then it's just rerouted to where you're at in DC, and it doesn't pick up on the reroute.
Wait. Explain this to me again.
All right, so if something is banned online,
Uh-huh.
like for instance, there was when I lived in Texas, you could buy weed from California, right? Like if you live in California, you can order it and it'll be shipped to your house. Well, if you live in Texas and you set up a box at a UPS store with a PO box, you can have that PO box forwarded to a different location.
I understand that, but you can't buy it online, period, now, I think.
Right, and you can't buy the flavored Zen or Lucy in DC, period. Like, they don't want you to sell it because they target it to kids. Same thing happened, what was it, with the vapes that were in DC?
The Juuls.
The Juul. Whenever Juul had, like, mango and,
The mango
like, people at
pods.
Barstool used to be like, hey, dude, when you come up, can you bring me stuff from Texas? So it's just a way to get around it, and they're not doing enough enforcement, I guess.
There's definitely people driving up and down I-95 right now with nicotine pouches, like just cases of them.
1,000%, yeah.
So when I was in college, my roommate at the time, my freshman year, he was a random dude that got assigned. He was from Long Island. And we move in, get to know each other a little bit. His parents come down for Parents Weekend. And his parents were like, your tobacco prices down here are crazy cheap.
Yep.
In like, kind of central Virginia. And I was like, yeah, I guess they are. I hadn't really thought about it that much. But them being from New York, it was like 3 times as expensive to buy them. So like, we're going to go to the store and buy just cartons of cigarettes. So they go to the store, they buy them, they drive back up. I was like, your parents, they smoke a lot? And my roommate was like, no, they've never smoked in their entire life. They just love a good deal. And so they bought like all the cigarettes because it was at a discount. And he was like, yeah, they'll probably find somebody to sell them to up in Long Island. I was like, have they ever sold cigarettes before? He was like, no. It's just like such a good discount that they couldn't pass it up.
I love that.
So
I love it.
So they're driving it back up north, and with the understanding that they will eventually find somebody to sell these cigarettes to, and at least double what they paid for it.
They probably did.
They probably did. Yeah. Again, not addicted.
I was gonna say, have you seen the Canadian plain packaging for cigarettes?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
It's
No.
wild, bro. So like, if you go to any kind of convenience store in Canada, they have like mad like malnourished people on the boxes, like diseased lungs, people with stroke. It's crazy,
Here.
and apparently it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, people with like mouth disease. It's just crazy, dog.
They do the same thing with our cereal in England. Like if you buy American cereal over there, it has like a certain general's warning on it.
It shows like your liver.
And it costs so much more. And it's not because of import, it's because it's an unhealthy tax. Like even if it's made there, like any of our candies, they can't sell it without like a health warning on it.
I'm okay with that, actually.
I mean, I have purchased cigarettes in Europe before, and the packaging on them is just like, if you buy this, it will kill you.
Yeah, Japan too.
Yeah, you're like, I'll take one of those, please.
Yeah.
Actually, better make it 2. I don't know when I'm going to see these again.
Japan cigarettes are so light that you basically get lightheaded trying to smoke anything out of it. You have to like breathe in as hard as you absolutely can to get anything.
Yeah. So there was a time I was in Spain, and I was renting out this apartment in a larger like Airbnb apartment. So I had like 1 bedroom, and then I had the kitchen that I could partially use. There was another apartment in here, like a bedroom, and they also had get access to the kitchen. There was a little courtyard outside. And we were told I was checking in, the landlord was like, yeah, there's going to be a Chinese family that's visiting. So they have the other bedroom, and then this bedroom will be yours. I was like, okay, sounds good. And it was kind of a crazy setup because they just used the kitchen the entire time. I don't think they went out to eat the entire time they were in Barcelona. They were just boiling cabbage all day. And
sounds good.
Yeah, so I went out to the courtyard, and I was hanging out there, and the Chinese father walked outside, and he sat down next to me. It was nighttime, and I asked him if he spoke Spanish. I asked him if he spoke English. He kept shaking his head. And so then I know how to count to 8 in Chinese. So then I just counted to 8.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And they started nodding
hell
his
yeah.
head. And then I think I knew the word for airplane at the time. So I pointed up in the sky, said airplane. And he was like, yeah. And then so we started to make common ground over all the different
This guy
Chinese.
likes counting planes.
Yeah, this guy's he's like a enormous 3-year-old. This is very impressive. So what do you do when you meet a 3-year-old that you're vibing with? He just takes out a pack of cigarettes. He's like, you want one? I was like, okay, I'll smoke a cigarette with you, dude. And we lit it up, and I swear to God, I smoked the entire thing in like 2 drags.
Yeah.
Because it's just paper, and it just burned all the way down. So we had a nice little moment, and then we reached the end of things that we could talk about. He kept trying to talk to me in Chinese. I was like, I don't know.
Somebody from a different culture offers you a cigarette. I feel like you have to take it. You're in a different country. You have to.
Yeah, it's polite.
Yeah.
There's some news going on today about Boeing. So Boeing is undergoing some investigations on Capitol Hill. Blumenthal from Connecticut, the senator, he said, we have more than a dozen whistleblowers at this point, and we encourage more to come forward. And Boeing has acknowledged that there has been retaliation against certain whistleblowers. They haven't said that they've killed them, obviously, but there's the CEO of Boeing is Dave Calhoun, and he's on his way out, and he's just getting grilled in front of the Senate. And he said the company retaliated against employees who have raised safety concerns. Before his opening remarks, he stood from the witness table and turned around to apologize to the families of the Boeing 737 MAX victims. They were present in the room, and Boeing is now under investigation after the door plug that blew off the Alaska Airlines flight. So,
I watched a lot of that panel yesterday.
Yeah.
Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri, he eviscerated that CEO. Like, because that guy's his pay package went up from like $16 million up to $32 million last year. And they had all the issues, and he was going through. He's like, well, safety responsibility. And then he listed all the different safety violations. And while this guy was talking and being like, we're getting it right, the family members had like pictures of the people that had been killed behind him. And he just, like fact after fact was like, well, explain why you deserve $32 million and why you shouldn't be forced to resign. And he like really had no answer. Like he was like, you took one of the greatest American businesses and have made it a laughingstock across the world. Like, how do you explain yourself? How do you live at night paying people that are in bottom positions peanuts while you gave yourself a 50% raise?
Did he have anything to say about it?
No, like he was like, well, I don't agree with your characterization about what's happening. This is the safest the company's ever been. And you could hear like the audible groan from everybody. It was like a very bipartisan type of thing, like where the audible groan from everybody almost every time that dude opened his mouth was crazy.
Have people reached the point where they look to see what kind of plane they're going to be on before they travel?
I know they have. And one of the guys I'm good friends with up here, he works for Boeing, is like I don't want to say what he does, but he told me like there's certain types of planes now that I would not fly on. If my family is going to go, I look at what the schedule is, what kind of plane is on
tell
there.
us what those kinds are, fam.
He was like, if it's a 737, I'm not getting on it.
Yeah, I was actually just checking the flight I'm getting on next week, and it's a Boeing 737.
Yeah, he was
and
like,
I've been trying to avoid Boeing planes.
He did say that how much scrutiny they're on now, like that they have really ramped up how they're looking in the pre-flight like issues that are going on. And he was like, but still, I wouldn't do it right now because they got caught. So, I mean, it wasn't just the like civilian planes like United or anything like that. It was, they found in F-35s and different high-level fighter jets that they were using counterfeit parts that were purchased off of like Amazon.
Yeah, counterfeit parts in planes have been it's like a really big deal.
Yeah.
It's a very big, because even the smallest screws that attach things, they have to be safety rated and made in such a specific way where they're, I don't know if it's forged, if that's the right term for it, but when you're making like these screws, they have to be made of the right chemical composition. They have to be like forged in the right temperature of heat. And if they're not, then they're not rated to last, X amount of hours, like 20,000 hours of flight time. And if you get these counterfeit parts, which are being made, I think for the most part in China.
Yeah, they are.
And they flooded the market with them.
Yeah, and you have these screws. I think like the screws are what you're talking about, right? Like a normal screw that goes on the outside of a 737 or whatever plane you're talking about. Just a bag of screws could be like $9,000.
Yeah.
Well, if you replace those with the counterfeit parts that let's say they're $200, the difference there could be life and death. Like the things that they aren't designed to withstand that. And that exists in any type of like screws. Like you use the wrong one in wood versus steel, it's going to strip out.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going that fast, that far, it's a big issue. And they should have checks and balances. And the guy said that they're going to try to get around that by buying all these factories that are using the counterfeit processes that they're doing, but I don't know if that fixes it.
So they're gonna buy the factories.
They're gonna buy the supply line
and then close them down.
No, they're gonna
use them to make good ones,
better quality checks, because they said that what they have designed is good, but the way that the people, that it's not necessarily Boeing that is fucking up everything, but the people that they have contracted from different countries that are fucking everything up.
Because Boeing they don't make all the screws.
But they want to now.
Yes. They've got the airplane manufacturing plants where they take the screws, they take the panels, they assemble everything, and they used to be like very, very safety oriented, where it was like like you said, one of the best American companies. And now their suppliers are severely compromised.
Yeah. And that's happening all over the place, like in military industrial complex too. Like there's one, a pretty prominent example in a nuclear submarine. Like they operate a lot of times by controllers. Like the periscope will be operated by what essentially is like a video game controller. Mm-hmm. And one of these controllers that they use broke whenever they're out deep sea. It was like a I'm pretty positive, $67,000 controller that they used to navigate this periscope. It broke. One of the guys plugged in his 360 controller and it worked. To operate it the same way. So it goes back and forth, like where it's either way too good that doesn't need to be that good and we could use something that's $58 instead of $60,000, or we're using parts that strip out way too easily and it's causing crashes all across the globe.
It's not good. Not an easy problem to solve. You know what they also do is after a plane crash, a lot of times they will take some of the materials and salvage them and then reuse those parts on new planes.
Yeah, let's just do it again. Let's just get new stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of times there's like specialty parts that are hard to come by, and if it's a plane crash and it's like a screw that's not damaged, they're like, okay, well it's still a airworthy screw. We can use this. I would prefer they just throw those out.
Yeah, you just got to err on the side of caution there.
Then there was a story. I think it was maybe the Everglades crash way back in the late 80s, I think, where they took some of the parts and put them on different planes, and then different stewards and stewardesses on the other flights that had these counterfeit screws, or not counterfeit, reused screws, they would see people who were on that flight that crashed in the Everglades. And multiple people had to be like put on psychiatric leave from different flights because they're like, I swear to God, I saw this guy and I know for a fact he was the captain on that flight. There's like 4 different instances of that happening.
Ghost goofing,
yeah. If you were a ghost, would you come back and fuck with anybody?
Yeah,
I definitely would.
Why?
It'd be fun.
I don't know who it would be, but if I was given the option, I'd be like, yeah, sign me up to fuck with somebody.
I feel like there's so much more cool ghost shit. You can go travel to other planets, go check out the other places. You have so much stuff to do, and you want to fuck with people here.
Well, you got infinite time. If you're a ghost,
yeah,
Sure.
Time's not an object. Yeah, if I had limited time, I don't know if I would waste it on that.
Fair.
But unlimited. Oh yeah, everybody's getting it.
I would come back and I would raise basketball rims like half inch at a time. Just
All of
fuck
them
with
collectively
yeah.
at once.
Yeah, so nobody can dunk anymore. It's the frog in boiling water thing.
What do you think is the height you'd have to raise it to for no one on Earth to be able to dunk?
Now, like 14 feet.
I think somebody can get that.
You think so?
14 feet? No.
What's
Was that
the top of the backboard?
That's
What's the top of the
probably
backboard?
13 and a half.
No. It maybe 12.
You think it's only 12?
Maybe.
What?
No,
No.
backboard's bigger than 2.5 feet.
I don't think so.
The top of the backboard is 13 feet.
13 feet.
Okay, so you may be right. But I've seen dudes. So when I was growing up, I had a dude in high school who could touch the top of the backboard. He had bunnies. There's freaks out there that can just jump.
I think.
Eric wouldn't know nothing about that though.
Oh, shut up. I think 14 feet is the limit. I don't think anyone could dunk on a 14-foot hoop.
There's
What do
a
you
high
think
jumper
Wemby could do?
that jump over
He
7
doesn't even have to
feet,
jump.
Fallsbury flop style. So it's like I think somebody could get 14 feet though.
I don't think.
I'm not
Wemby
saying
can
there's
jump
swaths
high
of
enough.
people that can, but I think one or two humans can do that. There's some humans that can get 14.
So I think you'd have like Anthony Edwards would be one that's at the top of that list. Giannis probably at the top of that list that could do it.
I'm not even
I
talking about
don't
dudes that's in the NBA, like literally high jumpers. Have you ever watched these dudes called like the Flight Bros? So like they literally just do crazy dunks. They're the best dunks you've ever seen. And this is why the NBA dunk contest it's dead, because you have dudes who can't play in the NBA and won't play in the NBA that do the most amazing dunks you'll ever see in your life, and it's fucking unreal.
Yeah, where like
They
their
got
heads
some-
are above the rim.
Yeah, shit like that. Or they'll do like behind the back, between the legs, reverse. Like it's just crazy shit. That's video
Yeah,
game
I've seen
shit.
those,
and
yeah.
they do them. And there's also dudes on there who can like. There was a dude named James White when I was growing up. They used to be on all these like hoop mixtapes. There's a dude named James White who, when we was growing up, dunking from the free throw line was crazy,
Mhm.
right? And the majority of like with Jordan or whoever dunks from the free throw line, everybody stepped over. You know what I mean? Everybody stepped over.
Yeah.
He didn't. He was behind the line and he did it two hands. He was just an anomaly. He played a little bit. I think he went to Florida and he just never panned out. But there's cats out there who just got bounced, and that's what they do.
But 14 feet.
I know, bro.
Like if you, let's say because the minimum height you'd have to be to get that 6'5" at least, right? Like because once you get 7 foot, you're probably not going to be as athletic. So you'd have to be 6'5", 6'8" range with crazy hops at the same time. So if you're 6'5" and you have that, your hands probably reach up to about 8.5 feet whenever you're standing there. So then you would have to have a vertical leap of 6.5 feet.
I think y'all are discounting how high 14 feet is.
It's very high.
No, I'm not. I'm saying 14 feet is.
I don't think that's
tops.
possible.
So the world's high jump record is 8 feet.
Okay.
8.04 feet. That's high, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But that's sideways too. That's not straight up and down. Like you'd have to have body control.
And that's
in the
probably
air
by a dude
straight.
that's 5'2".
Yeah.
No, hell no. All high jumpers are super tall. They're like 6 feet and above.
Yeah, because
Are they?
it's not measuring
Yeah.
vertical. It's just
Oh, yeah.
it's the same bar for everybody. So it doesn't matter if you're.
There's probably a
7
world
feet.
record, right? We could look up world record highest basketball dunk. Like, I can't imagine it's over 13 feet. Somebody's made a dunk.
I don't. This says here's a YouTube video. It says dunked on 12 feet. I don't know how reliable that is. It says Michael Wilson's world record.
You got to.
This is a grainy video like from the 80s. It says it's at. Oh, so this was a Globetrotter.
I would watch that. That's the NBA should have that, a high dunk competition.
Yep.
That would be so much better than the current like slam dunk competition.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think those are over. Those days where people are wowed by that is over. I mean,
Yeah.
Willing cars in and shit. I mean, does anybody really get excited for the dunk contest anymore?
No,
I haven't watched it in
No.
many years.
I think once Vince Carter did what he did, it was done. I think once he stuck his arm into the rim and just kind of hung out there and did the "it's over," that was.
There were still good ones after.
There
that,
was,
though.
but it wasn't ever anything like that.
Like Nate Robinson was cool. Blake Griffin was cool.
Yeah, that one.
But it wasn't the same.
Who was the guy who? This was not. It was just people liked it, but it wasn't all that impressive. Who was the guy who blew the candle out on the rim?
Oh, the dude from Orlando.
I forget his
Aaron
name.
Gordon?
You're thinking of it.
Aaron-
I
it
don't.
wasn't
I
Aaron
don't
Gordon.
believe it. It was before that. But Aaron Gordon was. That was the last good dunk contest.
I mean, there's some amazing dunkers, but the I think it was nowhere near the height as it was when Vince Carter.
Yeah, like early 2000s. It was. I remember as a kid, like the dunk contest was like you had to
that
watch
was
it,
must watch.
and I haven't watched it.
kids
yet.
might still like
Gerald
it, though.
Green.
Gerald Green was
Yeah.
good. Yep.
I don't think so though. I don't think anybody watches anymore.
You don't think kids like it?
I'm sure they might like it, but like it's not a big event anymore. They have G League guys doing it.
I do agree that Nate Robinson, who by the way I think he needs a kidney, right?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
He's like in bad shape.
yeah, he's down.
Yeah,
Like, if he doesn't get a kidney like really soon, it could be bad.
Yeah, but he was a great dunk contest guy because he's smaller.
Mhm.
And so I think that raising the hoop kind of solves that. We want to see people jump high.
Right.
We want to be amazed at how high they can leap off the ground.
Yeah, like if you had that with Zion and you had Anthony Edwards and Giannis going at it, like those, if you could get them to actually do it, that would be amazing.
Yeah. I think Wemby would be awesome to watch.
I don't think he would do well though.
he can't jump
Hell
that high,
no.
right?
That would be whack as hell. Wimby on a dunk contest.
No, I'm saying with a high hoop.
I want to see Wemby do the skills competition, like
Yeah.
but like the NFL 3-cone shuttle.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be a great like baton relay guy.
Oh yeah.
Just get it to you like 4 yards ahead of
Can
the
you hand it off across the whole track?
Yeah. Is he still growing?
He's got to be. He's like 19, right?
That would be nuts if he grew another like 3 inches.
Every time he moves, I'm just scared that something's gonna break.
Yeah, because it doesn't look natural, right?
How much
so
does he
brittle.
weigh?
He's got the longest humerus that I've ever seen. Is that what the upper arm is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that bone, whatever, like his shoulder to his elbow.
Humerus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Called a humerus?
I think so, yeah.
Is that in any connection to the funny bone?
It is.
Yes.
Well, I'm saying like, is that why they call it the funny bone? Because
Yeah.
it's connected to the humerus?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I never knew that.
Learn something new every day. You'll be great at trivia in no time.
Fuck you.
That was tough.
Do we want to talk about that at all?
We can.
So I did wear a X No Macrodosing shirt on Monday to prepare for the experts against macrodosing. Had to turn my back on you guys, and we're enemies for one day, but I hope that we can come back together as a podcast and move forward.
You showed great sportsmanship fucking up that one question.
Mackenzie, great
I
job.
disagree vehemently with that.
I was going to say, Mackenzie, great job not turning your back on Kelly Keegs.
Okay.
What happened? Fill me in.
Oh, well, here's what happened, Arian. Mad Dog and Big T played on a team in trivia. Now, usually you're the third member of that team.
Yes.
So they had to find somebody to fill in for Arian because he was dealing with family health stuff at home, which is
Which I have a story about later.
I saw your tweet.
okay.
Fucking crazy.
So they had to get a fill-in for you, and the fill-in that they got was Tate.
The fill-in we were given was Tate.
The fill-in that Mad Dog approved was Tate.
The fill-in, I asked about other fill-ins and was told no. One of them happens to be sitting next to me.
So,
Who's Tate?
good question.
The guy who works here.
So Tate is a employee here at Barstool, and he has an ongoing beef, shall we say, with Kelly Keegs, who I want to say for the record, I don't care what the argument is. I am on Kelly Keegs' side because I am terrified of her.
Kelly's the best.
I will raise my hand and say I want no smoke from Kelly ever on anything. If she has one fan left,
It's PFT.
it's me.
Yeah.
What's the old saying? Like,
If she has 1,000 fans, I'm one. If she has one fan, it's me. And if I have 0 fans, I'm dead. If she has 0 fans, I'm dead.
if she has 0 fans, then the world has ended.
Yeah.
Right.
She destroyed it, probably.
Yeah, she probably did. And
She
thank you
has
for doing
I'm
that,
okay
Kelly.
with that.
I appreciate you doing that.
Because it was probably for good reason.
Yes, great
was
call.
needed.
Great call destroying the world, Kelly. And so Mad Dog, she's friends with Kelly, I think.
I'm very good.
Was friends with Kelly.
I'm still very good. I'm going.
Used to be,
going on. I'm
right?
going on Taylor Watch after this show today. Her
She's
show.
probably going to poison your drink.
No, she's not.
She definitely has a stock of just poisoned apples that she hands out to people.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I guess the best way to say it is Mad Dog competed with an enemy of Kelly on her team. Even though Mad Dog and Kelly are supposed to be good friends. Now, I would never do that to Kelly.
Right.
And
You're a better friend than me.
And then they had the audacity, Arian, to call in Kelly Keegs as a lifeline.
Madeline was insistent.
She insisted on asking Kelly to help Macrodosing answer a question on the dozen. And then Kelly steps up there and she looks at
Felicity
Tate,
Huffman.
and she says, "Oh, I don't know the answer to this," and she walks away.
She gave us an answer. She gave us one of the answers.
She did give you one of the answers. So, I
don't know. She threw.
She might have thrown it.
Well, am I allowed to say my piece?
Well, how good of a friend is she?
Hold on. Can I say my piece?
Stir it up, Aaron.
Can I say my piece?
Yeah, good.
So, Jeff. So when we found out that Arian couldn't come, Jeff obviously needed to figure out what we were going to do, if it was just going to be me and Big T or someone else. And I said, can I bring in Mackenzie? Because Mackenzie is on our show. We are Team Macrodosing. And I think Mackenzie would be a great trivia player. And he said no. And then
Why not?
he said that he doesn't know if her skills would be comparable to yours in terms of replacement.
Man, her skills would be better than mine.
Well,
Correct. He gave us the worst
Exactly.
player in the history of the dozen.
No,
to
I
replace
didn't
you.
want to be
Horrible,
mean,
man.
but he thinks that she would be better than you, and that felt like a disadvantage. And so then I didn't want to be mean though. And
I mean, we all know I'm shit at that game.
so we were given Tate as a replacement, and he said this is who you have. And so who am I to argue with Jeff D. Un and
Kim Jong Jeff.
Kim Jong Jeff. Sorry, I fucked it up. Kim Jong
Jeff
Jeff.
D. Low and the D is for double vaxxed. Putting Pfizer in the questions. People don't
Right.
talk about that.
So I knew Kelly would see that, and I didn't want her to get the wrong idea that I wanted Tate on my team. And so I talked to Kelly and Gia beforehand, before my match on Monday morning, and I said, Kelly, I just want you to know I did not set up the Tate thing. I also want to know, to both of them, I said, if I were to need you for Celebrity Mashup, am I allowed to bring you up? And Gia said no, because she is loyal to her sister, who was playing against us with you, PFT.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly said, you know what? Yes. I asked before, I said, if you don't want me to call you up, or if you don't want to answer, I totally 100% get it. I just wanted to know where
I
you're
love
at.
how serious this was taken.
Yeah. Well, because also I love Kelly. Kelly's one of my good friends. I didn't want it to upset her that she thinks that I had been I need Tate on my team. That's not how that happened. So I said, can you do Celebrity Mashup if I need you? I knew that Jeff was going to throw a hard Celebrity Mashup that night because Fran was on the other team. And Fran is obviously queen of Celebrity Mashup. He threw me a Celebrity Mashup that I did not know. And so I told Tate and Big T before the match, I said, if I don't know Celebrity Mashup, I'm calling in Kelly. And Tate said, I don't know. She doesn't like me. I go, I know she doesn't like you. But I had talked to her. And in the end, it didn't really matter. She gave us the outside, and she may or may not have, she has not confirmed nor denied, that she may have misnamed the inside name, who I could not get. And that's fine. We lost by 9 points. It really didn't make that big of a difference either way.
Damn.
Yeah. No, we got our asses kicked. Good job, BFD. Good game. Wishing you luck tonight. I hope you make it to I hope you win the whole damn thing. But I asked her before. I said, I want to know, it's not me taking a side or anything. And she totally agrees. And then after everything that happened yesterday, which if you saw that, you saw what happened. I am Team Kelly. I have always been Team Kelly. I will always be Team Kelly. I'm going on Taylor Watch later today. I'm on Kelly's side, and Kelly and I are in good graces.
Okay.
There's nothing that we should have beef over.
Everything's fine.
Everything's completely fine. I was literally with her after the act yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fine. Do you know something that I don't? I don't.
No,
think
I just
so.
thought it
Yeah.
was interesting how you turned your back on her. But
I didn't
guess,
turn my back on her.
guess
I
things
asked.
are fine.
Yeah, I asked permission, and she then chose to not give me the celebrity matchup, which is fine. Like, I get
No,
it.
she threw.
Yeah, well, yeah, she did.
Fuck
But
that.
like,
She threw.
also, no offense to me, Big T and Tate, we weren't gonna win that game either way.
Don't matter. You helped the
So-
homies.
Yeah, but her and I are totally fine, and I am Team Kelly. And how could you not be?
Brandon was in the zone yesterday too.
I'm not.
Brandon was very, very strong. And
Yeah.
then we're playing our next matchup here in a little bit. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be done. You'll know if we're in the Final Four or not, which takes place Thursday tonight here in Chicago.
Yep.
So if you're in Chicago,
We'll all be there.
come out, say hi, be in the audience. If you know the answer, raise your hand loudly. Can you raise your hand loudly? Raise your hand enthusiastically.
Yeah. Confidently, bravely,
And maybe you will get
Not
called on.
drunkenly.
not drunk.
Not drunkenly. So where's that dozen going to be? I'm trying to find
The Riviera Theater.
The Riviera Theater. Okay, cool. So we will hopefully be there in the Final Four. And yeah, it was an honor competing against you guys.
It was an honor, and I appreciate
I was
you.
Wesley Snipes from New Jack City,
I don't know what that means.
crying.
Yeah, okay, boomer.
You don't know the GIF?
I'm sure. Oh, I do know that GIF.
Yeah.
But
Wait, I don't get it.
the movie came out in 1991.
Yeah, but you know the GIF. That's what I'm
I
talking
am familiar
about.
with the GIF,
I'm
yeah.
referring
Yes.
to the GIF here. Is it boomer to know the reference behind like where the memes come from?
I could
Yes.
have never, if there was a gun to my head to tell you what that was from, it would have gone off.
Yeah.
Wait,
I've never heard of this movie.
Arian, you're on mute.
I said it's also a cultural thing. New Jack City's not like
I know that.
not a lot though, but maybe they do. But
Two Americas.
yeah, it might be a 2 American moment.
I know the meme.
It's a pretty popular movie, I think. Anyway, sorry that I had to do that to you guys.
That's okay. As long as I got to do my One Direction, I was there.
Yep.
I was there for a good time. Also, we weren't even supposed to be there anyways. Like, we lost the play-in match, and then David and Yandel, right? David Andrews and Yandel couldn't make it. I was just happy to be involved.
That's loser talk.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I'm not that good at trivia.
Loser talk. Okay, jumping through Big T's sheet real quick. Let's see. Here's one. Joe Biden's brain breaks mid-sentence every day, and the White House will keep blaming deepfakes. Just beyond sad at this point.
That's not my verbiage.
Okay.
But no, it's the White House saying that that these videos are deep fakes when that's just flagrantly untrue.
yeah, they're not deepfakes.
That's literally Orwellian.
Some of them are.
The party will tell you to distrust the evidence of your eyes and ears.
Some of them are deceptively edited, but they're certainly not deepfakes.
Which ones?
There was the one where he was in Normandy, in France.
Okay, yeah, that one they said there might be, he was looking at this one, whatever. The one where Obama had to pull him off the stage, there are no cuts in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Actually, the White House and people have released videos that cut it. And then the one yesterday, did you see yesterday?
I didn't see the one yesterday. No.
I think it's the one linked in that. Watch that.
Okay. His brain breaks.
The one where Obama, he stood there frozen for 30 seconds and Obama yanked him off the stage was the most egregious one. But
Let's see here.
listen to him here. He's all there. He's good to go.
Hang on, let me turn the sound on.
Thanks to all the members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary.
No, he's completely fine. He's all good. Deep fake.
That's not a deep fake.
None of them are.
Which one are they saying is a deep fake?
The one of the Jimmy Kimmel event in LA where Obama had to like take him by the hand and pull him off stage.
They said that specific video was a deep
I
fake.
believe that is the one that Karen Jean-Pierre was referencing, yes. That these are deep fakes. Which, by the way, means a video that is concocted like artificially, that is not real at all.
I am concerned about deepfakes though. These are not deepfakes,
Correct.
but deepfakes are going to get really good.
I've almost gotten got a couple times with the AI, like Caitlin Clark. I was like, God damn, dude.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, no, wait, her mouth doesn't match up perfectly.
Some dude put together an AI thread of GIFs that, or not GIFs, of memes that he turned into GIFs using deepfake technology. So you had like the distracted boyfriend. Mm-hmm. You saw him like turn around, look at the girl, and then follow the girl. You had the little girl that set the house on fire, and she was like smiling but like moving around and stuff. It's very creepy.
And some of them look real.
Some of them look very real. Yeah. The hands, though, I'm told that the hands are the ones that they have problems animating. Speaking of fires, I saw a giant fire yesterday.
Oh, the one that was here, right? Was it a pallet factory or something like that?
Yeah, it was
a
literally
warehouse?
It was literally a pallet warehouse,
Yeah.
which is maybe the most flammable thing that you can think of. And I'm leaving the office.
Legit might be.
Yes, just like
Except
straight
gas.
just wood, and then you've also got like the I assume that you have like chemicals in there and gases and things like that that they use to move the pallets around. So I'm leaving the office. I'm driving down the street, and I see this huge plume of black smoke going up in the air. And I'm like, what is that? And as I get closer, I can start to see the flames now. And these flames it's probably a 2-story building. The flames were about 5 stories high in the air. And the smoke was it was huge. And I'm an idiot. And there was part of me that was like, keep going towards this fire.
Yeah.
And so I just kept.
This would be incredible content.
No, not even just to like, I want to get closer to the fire. There was part of my brain that was like, you need to be as close to this fire as possible. And so I just kept driving down the street closer and closer. All the cars in front of me turning off. Like, yeah, let's get off of the fire street, until I got to the corner where it was at. And it was like, yeah, this is not good. And as I was getting close, there were like these little mini explosions that I was feeling in my car, because like the whole place was going up. And when I got home, you can see this trail of smoke all across Chicago. It like took over part of the sky yesterday. But yeah, it was right here on the street. And it was, I don't know what it is about fires that people are just attracted to. But the dumbest thing that I saw was right across the street from the fire. The sidewalk was just lined with people that were just standing there staring at it. And they were just surrounded by smoke. They're just standing there breathing in smoke and just being like, this is cool fire to look at. I don't know what kind of chemicals are coming out of here, but it's not good.
Yeah.
But when you see a fire, you have to look at it.
You do. And I would have done the same thing. I would have driven right into it. Like, just being around a big fire is amazing.
It is, yeah. I hope nobody got hurt.
Do you remember the video of that fertilizer factory in Texas that went up and it looked like a legit nuclear weapon went off?
Yeah. That was wild. Like, buildings for dozens of miles around, they had the windows shattered.
Yeah.
When that exploded. You guys remember the explosion in, that was not Yemen, was it? It was in...
I know what you're talking about.
No.
I think it was Yemen.
Was it Yemen?
I think so. That was like right on it was on the water, right?
It wasn't Yemen. It was, it's where my friend's dad is from. And now I can't remember where it is.
Lebanon?
Lebanon.
Yes. Yes. Good call. Yeah, the Lebanese fertilizer.
Shout out Georgie Taja.
I knew that's who you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to get we got to get Oz the Mentalist back in here, and he'll just bring that up out of nowhere. Yeah, that was a crazy explosion. It looked like it was an atom bomb going off, and it was just a fuckload of fertilizer that they kept under like unsafe conditions. I remember when that explosion happened, there was some NBA reporter was like, "This is an atom bomb." And everyone was like, dude, how do you know that's an A-bomb? He's like, mushroom cloud. And then people were like, no, man, you can have a mushroom cloud from a lot of different explosions.
Anything.
And he was like, don't tell me I'm an idiot. I know what I saw. This is an atomic weapon that just exploded. He was like dead serious. It was the same guy that accidentally tweeted out a sext a few years ago. I forget that guy. Chris Adams, maybe? Is that it? Anyways, he was certain it was an A-bomb. Looked like an A-bomb. But fire's cool. Okay, so reptilians, you guys want to get into it, or is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Big T, you teed off about anything?
No, I don't think so.
There is Neil deGrasse Tyson clap back at Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
So Terrence Howard went on Rogan, reinvented math, and then Tyson went behind the scenes and talked about how he tried to get Terrence Howard on his podcast a couple years ago. And then Terrence Howard wrote back and gave him like a list of all these equations that he wanted to discuss, and it didn't end up happening. But then Neil deGrasse Tyson just casually, like line by line, broke down how dumb Terrence Howard is. And I don't think he even said that he's dumb, but he was talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect.
He definitely said he was dumb. He's just a nice guy.
In like a very scientific way.
Yeah, he basically what he did was Terrence Howard, they met up with each other a long time ago, and Terrence Howard said, I have this thing that I want to, run by you. And so he sent him like a 36-page paper of ramblings that basically try to rewrite our understanding of math. And so credit to Neil deGrasse Tyson for doing some solid ass shit. He read that shit and proofread that shit. And so he went line for line, broke down this the way he's like, yo, this is false. He's like, in order for this to be true, this has to be true, and that's not the basis of our reality. He's like, this is just based on your premise here is false. He went through all of it, and he gave it back to him. And so Terrence Howard was like upset when he first gave it back to him. This was a long time ago. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson found the paper that he did, and he was like, I don't know why he's mad. This is how you treat peers. This is how peers
that's peer review
thing. Yeah, he's like, this is a peer. Mm-hmm. I gave him a peer review. He's like, in order for this to be true, our understanding of reality is wrong. He's like, this is just false. And so like, he's like, I didn't have any problems with him. He's like, he gave him a compliment. It's like, this is a sign of a very active, curious mind, which is the highest compliments you can give to somebody. Like, you don't have any guide rails on your internet usage. Mm-hmm. What he told him. So shout out to Neil deGrasse Tyson for entertaining that shit. I think that needs to happen more often, though. People with stupid crackpot theories need to be met head on by the experts. But the issue is not many experts are savvy enough to get in front of a mic and go point for point and tell you why you're stupid. They'd rather just do what they do.
Yeah. Do you think that our nation's smartest minds, their time would be better spent just owning our nation's dumbest minds publicly? Because I think it might be. I think if you're a really smart guy, your full-time job.
We need to put at least 50% effort into that right now.
Yeah, though. It's like how lawyers have to do a certain amount of pro bono work.
Yeah.
If you are that genius level IQ, you should have to spend half of your time publicly owning idiots.
Especially if you're well-spoken, like not just Neil, but like the other dude, Brian
Cox.
Yeah.
Brian Cox, Michio Kaku.
People that can explain incredibly complex ideas like a fifth grader where you can understand it.
The problem is they're too nice, though. They're like really nice people.
Yeah.
Like they see the beauty in the world and they just spent their entire lives dedicated to understanding it and explaining it to laymen, because it takes an immense amount of knowledge to break it down and explain it to somebody who doesn't have the background. But they're just too nice. They're rather than saying, hey, yo, that's fucking dumb. And this is why that's fucking dumb. There needs to be more of that.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a waste of your time to do that. In fact, we are very dumb, so we kind of need it.
I found this science educator on YouTube. His name is Professor Dave Explains or something like that. And so he has a background in like microbiology, and he started out just like making educational videos about biology and stuff like that. And it's interesting to watch. But then like later on through his YouTube career, like somebody will be like, hey, yo, is this true? And they'll send him a video about like evolution or something like that. And he'll break down like why it's stupid. And his tone early on was very like, Neil deGrasse Tyson, well, no, this can't be true because you're the Cambrian, blah, 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 blah. He'll just go down, right? But after a while, he's like, the more and more I do this, the more and more I realize that these people need to be talked to like this. Mm-hmm. They just need to be talked to like this. And so his tone and demeanor now is like, this is fucking dumb. And this is why this is fucking dumb. And he's fun to watch. Professor Dave Explains. It's funny.
Does he have a big beard? He a big beard guy?
He has a beard. I don't think it's big though.
Okay.
No, I don't. Matter of fact, he might just. I don't even know if he has a beard actually. Does he? I'll be wrong about that. But it's not like a big. It's not like a big part of his. Yeah, he does have a beard, but it's not big.
Okay.
It's a public service though,
mm-hmm.
because what's happened is we've told all the brilliant people like you don't need to waste your time having arguments with idiots. And what that's led to is a bunch of idiots thinking that they're geniuses, which is the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? So when your confidence level versus your actual intelligence, and then there's the valley of despair, which is when you think that you know everything, but you're actually like actively making everyone else dumber. And then at the very end are the people who actually know what they're doing and are very intelligent about it. But
one of my favorite quotes is actually by somebody who I don't agree with a lot, but brilliant quote. Thomas Sowell. He said it takes an immense amount of knowledge to understand one's ignorance. Fire quote.
That is a good quote.
Yeah. So just let's put together some sort of fund or some sort of requirement that if you get a doctorate, you have to spend all of your time, or half your time, dealing with morons. I think that the world would be a better place for that. All right, let's get into reptilian conspiracies. Okay? Although, Big T, can I tell a story from the gambling cave?
It depends.
Okay, so...
You can tell it, and then I'll decide if you can tell it.
All right, so in the gambling cave, I believe it was last Thursday or Friday, we were watching some sports on TV, as we do.
Love doing that.
Playing some Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And
we need to do that more often.
We started discussing drug use. And Big T said that he would rather do cocaine than smoke a joint.
They're both as close to 0% as you can get.
Mm-hmm. He said cocaine is first on the list.
No, it was a binary choice.
Yeah, I think you said you would rather die than smoke a joint.
Yeah, for sure.
Why?
I can't stand it. The smell's horrible.
What about like gummies, vapes, these delicious drinks? I'm about to try this one is lemon lavender.
I would do like an edible before I would ever smoke weed. Again, I would not do any of it.
I would not advise you to start your weed.
Well, don't
journey
worry,
with an edible.
I'm not going to, but I'm saying
Right.
just in terms of if I had to do one, I would do that before. I can't stand like for the act of smoking. I can't envision myself doing, period. But also just it smells so awful. I could never do it.
Do you hate being relaxed? Is that it?
No, exist relaxed. I am by default relaxed.
But are you seem more relaxed physically, but a little mentally high strung?
No, I think I'm good.
No?
I think the best way to describe Big T is he doesn't seem like he has anxiety because he's that confident that everybody else in the world is stupid.
Well,
That's
most
fair.
people are.
Yeah,
stupid.
yes, and you have a like rock solid belief.
Y'all
in that.
aren't.
Yeah, but most
For the
people
most
are.
part.
But you don't get anxious about the rest of the
Most
world
part,
because
you
you're
don't.
like they're idiots.
I mean, statistically speaking, that is true.
Yeah, you're very comfortable in your own skin, which I appreciate.
He's the youngest get off my lawn guy there's ever been.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that Big T got his Barstool start by singing in a van about Saturdays for the Boys.
Yep.
Yep. And Harambe.
I was on one of the first ever episodes of Pardon My Take. Like one of the first 5-10 episodes.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Singing about Harambe.
Yep.
I'm here without Harambe.
People forget that.
But you're still lonely on my
I
mind.
believe it was the episode with Martin Shkreli.
Oh, really? Big T and
Yeah.
Martin Shkreli.
Yep.
The farmer bro.
Oh, and then the overnight fantasy football punishment Barstool Radio, where the 24-hour radio, you were the musical interlude to that too.
Yep. Me, you, Kate. Who else was there?
Lots. White Sox Dave.
How did you get involved with Barstool, bro?
Me?
Yeah,
What he was just saying.
but I know how to. Go ahead.
The long story short is my buddy and I had a video that Dave found and tweeted out. That was in 2016. And like we went on the rundown and then we went on, like I said, one of the first ever episodes of Pardon My Take. And then a year or so after that, I don't remember if it had existed previously and it was like relaunched or if that was like the real start of it. But the Viceroy program was like, I think it existed very
Organically, kind of.
rudimentary, and then they kind of put an emphasis behind it. And I didn't know any better, and I just texted Dave because I had Dave's phone number because we actually filmed another thing with Dave too, like that summer. And I texted Dave. I was like, "Hey, like, if there's one of these for Tennessee, like, I want it." And I don't text Dave ever now, and I work here. And Dave didn't give a shit. He was like, "Yeah, sure, go for it. I don't care." And so then I did that for a couple years, and then I got an interview to intern here in 2019, and then I worked here.
So it started from you making a video.
Yeah.
What kind of video?
It was me and my best friend singing a song about Saturdays are for the boys back when that like was massive, to the tune of what was that song called? Cheerleader. Do you remember that song?
But you don't have the personality to do that kind of shit. And like from me knowing you. And it's just funny that that's how
It is. It's weird
something.
thinking about that's the same guy. Like, I didn't even put it together for the first couple years that you were here.
I don't know that Dave did either.
I would guarantee he did.
Dave was reminded of it. I forget where we were. I forget exactly, but he was like, "Holy shit!" Like I didn't remember that at all.
I don't think I knew about it till I moved here. I heard
Really?
somebody talking about it. I was like, "What? Wait, what?"
Yeah, long time ago. That was 8 years ago.
Long time.
Crazy.
World changed.
Mm-hmm.
World changed that summer. You guys want to talk about reptilians?
Oh yeah.
Lizard people?
Also, lemon lavender, delicious as well.
Great flavor.
I'm taking a bunch of these boxes.
Do it. We got plenty. All right, so reptilians. The origins of the reptilians come from 1929. It was a book called The Shadow Kingdom that was written by Robert E. Howard. Robert E. Howard, also creator of Conan the Barbarian. Interesting. So Howard,
Was that Arnold's first role?
I think it might have been. It was one of
Yeah.
them. Yeah. Pumping Iron probably did that come out beforehand? Or was
That doesn't
after?
count, right? Like, because he's not acting in Pumping Iron.
He's just being Arnold. Well, he is acting a little bit because we interviewed him and we asked him about the scene where he says like, when I work out, it
When
feels
did
like
you guys interview him?
this is December.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we were like that scene from Pumping Iron where you talk about how when you lift weights, it feels like you're coming and you're coming and you're coming and you're coming nonstop. It's like, do you actually feel like that? Because like maybe I'm lifting weights wrong, but I never feel like I've come lifting weights. He was like, sometimes I knew from a very young age that you had to say kind of outlandish things to get attention that would then draw more eyeballs to the things that you were doing. And so I decided to make a statement like that just to make a splash and get people talking about it. So he doesn't actually feel like he's coming.
I see. I could totally think that you're coming if you get a personal record like bench press best ever.
Yeah.
Then you put out all that energy. The euphoria is there. You put it down. You sit up and you just kind of get a little glimpse of the landscape.
Mm-hmm.
That's like coming.
It is like coming. Yeah. If you get enough endorphins going, anything's like coming.
Anything is, yeah.
So
If you're open-minded.
this dude, Robert Howard, he created Conan the Barbarian, but he started writing stories that were based around a Russian writer, Helena Blavatsky's 1888 book, The Secret Doctrine. So this dude, Howard, he describes serpent men who lived in underground passages and used shape-shifting and mind control powers to infiltrate humanity. And then other fantasy and sci-fi writers borrowed the concept, including H.P. Lovecraft and Clark Ashton Smith. So that was the first part of that. Now, fast forward all the way to 1998, there was a former BBC sports reporter who became a conspiracy theorist and a New Age philosopher. His name was David Icke, maybe David Icke?
Ike.
David
I think
Icke?
Icky.
I don't know. I've heard it pronounced in 3 or 4 different ways.
So he's a sportscaster, and then he wrote a book called The Biggest Secret.
He's originally a football player.
Yeah, soccer guy.
Or soccer, I'm sorry. So he was originally he actually played.
Did he really? So he was good.
He's like their Ron Artest.
Okay.
I don't know about that, but I didn't know he played.
Bunch of different names. There's a whole thing.
He wrote this book called The Biggest Secret in 1998 that was containing interviews with 2 British people that claim members of the royal family are nothing more than reptiles with crowns.
So before that too, real quick, a little update on him. So the reason why I know about him a little bit more than I should is because the early days of YouTube when we were talking about a lot of wild shit went on, and David Icke was on there. And one of his first things that he did, so after playing soccer, he went, I think he coached a little bit or was a broadcaster. And then he went on like a show and he basically said, I am the next coming of Jesus Christ. It was like dead ass serious. And the whole studio was like laughing at us. And he was like, yeah, you can laugh. But if Jesus Christ back then was saying that back then, those people laughed at him too. So it's amazing that we haven't grown as much as a society. And they're like, yo, they're laughing at you. He's like, yeah, I know. So his wild claims go back a little ways.
It is a great claim to make because you can say I am Jesus Christ, and then when people tell you that you're wrong and hate you and laugh at you, you can just say, well, they laughed at Jesus too.
Checkmate.
Yeah, 100%.
You're
Scoreboard.
You're proving my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually an impossible argument to lose.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. prove that I'm not Jesus. This dude said that reptilians were actually Anunnaki that have controlled humanity since ancient times, and then he listed a bunch of celebrities as being reptilians. There's Queen Elizabeth, reptilian. George W. Bush, reptile. Henry Kissinger, reptile.
I buy that one.
Yeah, probably. That dude's body is one of one.
Yeah, he's a toad.
A true one of one.
Yeah.
Like he's got the pants that he's like a chode.
The same pants, but Reagan wore those as sweatpants too on Air Force One.
Yeah, the ones that go up really high. His
Yeah.
went up. I think his pants went above his nipples.
Yeah, that's where his suspenders were, from his nips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a wildly shaped man, probably a toad. Bill, Hillary, and Bob Hope. Bob Hope was also a reptile.
Yeah, where does Bob Hope come from and all that?
That feels to me like maybe he has a personal vendetta with Bob Hope.
Just hated Bob
He's
Hope.
like- he's
all
like-
the most powerful people in the world and Bob Hope.
Keep saying something. I'll add you to the reptile list. He was stepping on the toes of other conspiracy theorists at the time. He said that lizard people are behind secret societies like the Freemasons and the Illuminati. So what he did was very smart. He took all the other conspiracies and said, you guys are actually dumb because they want you to think that the Illuminati's out there, that the Freemasons are out there. But in reality, it's just a bunch of reptiles that have made you believe in this.
Then you have a bunch of other conspiracy theories that are like baked in
Yep.
already.
Yeah, you do. So you've instantly like you wrote a prequel.
Yeah,
to all the conspiracies.
Yeah. It's
It's
your
like-
own House of Dragons.
It's like, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
All this stuff is correct. However, it's being controlled by lizard people that run the whole scene, that are doing all that because they think that you're dumb and they want you to think that there's an Illuminati. But in reality, it's just people that live underground and have gills. So try to disprove that. In the Hebrew Bible, a.k.a. the Old Testament, the Nephilim, is that it?
The Nephilim?
Nephilim,
Nephilim.
I think.
Okay, the Nephilim were a group of mysterious beings. They were people of unusually large size and strength who lived both before and after the flood.
Oh, that's going back to where Goliath was from.
Oh, who's Goliath?
So Goliath was the giant that was slain by David, but they had a lot of people that were really big and they would say that they were otherworldly. Like it's not in the Hebrew text, but it is in other texts from that same time period.
So we've heard the story of David and Goliath. He has got the slingshot, right?
Yeah, well, it's like not a slingshot. It's the one that you whip around.
The rock on a rope.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always thought that Goliath was like a monster, but
No.
he was kind of a human.
He was a human. Yeah.
Wait, I thought you were joking when you asked that.
No, I mean I know who Goliath was, but I guess I should have said, what is Goliath?
He was a dude.
He was just a normal person.
Yeah.
Just
He was
a
a-
big
he was a
normal
soldier.
person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Goliath actually wasn't his name. It was the people group. His name wasn't Goliath.
So he was a Goliath.
yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like Yoda.
Yes.
Okay. So he was representative of an ancient race of people.
I've never heard that before. That's not something that they talk about in Southern Baptist Seminary.
Okay.
That wasn't in my readings, no.
Speaking of Baptists, did you guys hear about Robert Morris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The school?
The man.
No, he was like a big leader in Southern Baptist circles. He is a pastor of a mega church in the Dallas area. And he was one that he served as the head of the ethics committee for the Southern Baptist Convention for a while. And then he recently just came out and admitted that he had essentially molested a 12-year-old while he was a pastor, and that the church deacons and leadership knew about it, and they kind of brushed it under the rug because he said that he repented and all of those things.
I think he
Said sorry, guys.
Yeah.
his
Well,
phrase, I believe, was like he had an inappropriate relationship with a young lady.
Yeah, he had a moral shortcoming, I think is
And
what
how
he
old
said.
was this young lady?
She was 12 when he was like 50.
That's quite a way to put it.
Yeah.
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 Moral shortcoming.
Moral shortcoming.
They also just said this week they officially voted to not want IVF.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that the other day. What's the reasoning behind no IVF? Because IVF, I don't know much about it, but I've always thought that IVF, in vitro fertilization, was just a way that a couple could try to have a child if they weren't able to conceive on their own, but I don't know really the process behind it. I assume they take cum and they take girl cum, which is an egg,
Right.
and then they mix that together.
Definitely
Yes.
not
Right?
girl cum.
No, it's girl. When girls come, they
Yeah.
lay an egg. An egg comes like a
Yes.
like a goose.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gold,
What?
typically.
Yes.
Yep.
That's how you know if you've done a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you
Come
never
out.
seen eggs come out?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna lay an egg.
Virgin.
Okay, I thought you was serious for a second. Hold on, bro.
No, so
I've been told I was all right, and now I'm
I've never made a girl egg before.
I've never seen golden geese.
Looking like
Yeah.
a tadpole lily.
That's why you say like, yeah, it got laid. That's where it comes from. So, I guess in reality, what they do is they take cum and then they take an egg and then somehow they mix it together and then you wait for the egg to get fertilized. What part of that is against the Southern Baptist teaching?
They say because if you really are, and I understand it, if you're going to be a consistent in your ideology that life begins at conception, that's technically conception once the egg becomes fertilized. So they're saying that you're essentially freezing humans if you're doing IVF, and not all of them are getting used.
They're not all viable.
Well, they could be viable, but they're not all being used. So, like,
Okay.
if they're never implanted, then that's the same thing as having an abortion because you've started the
Okay.
process of conception and it doesn't continue. So then you're essentially aborting all of those fertilized eggs.
But even though, like, women when they're having their period, it's not uncommon for a fertilized egg not to implant.
True, but that's a natural
It's
process.
a natural process. So
and
they're
not
saying,
medically assisted.
They're saying that with IVF, that's not a natural process, so it's
Right.
the same as an abortion.
Right.
Okay, so
Which is going to be a tough sell to a lot of people that are on IVF in the church.
yeah, that are trying to conceive, that
Yeah.
just want a kid.
Right.
All right. Well, I do understand the consistency.
No, logically, I understand where it's coming from. And honestly, I would have been in that same boat. Like before my Marine days, before my views on everything changed, I would have been in that boat.
Yeah, just that's going to be a very tough sell. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the lizard people. They lay eggs, right?
Got to.
They have to. So they had these large people, Nephilims or Goliath or whatever you want to call them. They lived before and after the flood, according to the Old Testament. I don't know if they just were tall enough where the waters didn't get to them.
Yeah, because most people at that time period were around 5'1". So if there's like 5'8", they would have been good.
That's sick. So I would have been a Goliath, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd been huge.
I love that.
You should go back in time and try to hang out with like James Madison.
Yeah, I should.
Like 5'1".
That guy was so short.
Yeah.
But no, people talk about like, oh, I go back in time machine, kill Hitler, whatever.
Have you ever seen his weight estimate? Madison's?
No.
95 pounds.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Imagine having a president 95 pounds.
95 pounds.
I guess they do in Ireland. That's that guy.
Is he 5'1"?
Yeah, Michael something. Michael Higgins.
It's 5'1".
Yeah, he's a little fella. I wrote a blog about him being a leprechaun, but you're not allowed to say leprechaun. And it got picked up by like the Dublin newspaper.
Really?
And
You can't say leprechaun over there?
Well, that's what I said. I said that it's a slur, that you're not allowed
Oh.
to say it. But I like spelled it out, and I was like, but you don't if you're reading this aloud, do not.
Do not say it.
Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Skip this word.
Did you see the Germans saying that if anybody did the 10 German bombers chant that they like to do in England at the Euros in Germany, they'll arrest you on the spot?
It's a great chant.
It's awesome.
What is it?
Okay.
It
Yeah,
goes like,
go ahead.
there were 10 German bombers in the air. There were and then it says,
Oh.
and the RAF from England shot them down, shot them down.
down.
And they just keep doing that till they get to 0. And it's
Germany, you got to deal with that one, bro.
and
yeah,
they
like,
said
you got to
if,
wear that on a
if
chin.
we hear it, you're arrested.
It's such a good chant for England.
Oh,
Apparently
they're
it
going to
is-
take a action like that, an unjustified arresting for a mass group of people. That's weird.
Za was telling me even in England at Wembley, if you do it like in the stadium, they'll come try to get you.
What?
Yeah, that they you can do it like outside in public, but like he said,
Why?
I don't know. He
In
said
England, you can't do it?
that's what he was saying in the stadium. But I've seen it done in stadiums, so I don't know. But that's
They were
what
roasting the shit out of the Queen when she died.
That's
in the
what
stadium.
Zod told
Lizzie's
me.
in a box.
Lizzie's in a box.
Can you do Hitler's in a box?
I don't know.
This is Spitfire erasure is what it is. The RAF did a fantastic job against the German Air Force, or the Luftwaffe, and we're not allowed to even talk about history. And it's such a good chant when they get down to like 2, because the chant goes for a long time. When you get down to 2 German bombers in the air, everyone just starts getting fucking nuts. Then there's 1 German bomber. There's only 1 left, and then after that, there were no German bombers in the air, and people freak the fuck out and just start. It's an incredible scene. They need to allow
good
that
chant.
chant. They need to let that
Can
one
you
in.
imagine if England ends up playing Germany like in the semifinals or something, and they do it?
Oh,
That'd be
God.
incredible.
I hope for that now. That would be incredible.
Be so awesome.
Also, sorry to sidetrack again about different countries' Air Force. You know that the New Zealand's Air Force, what their logo is?
No.
It's the Kiwi.
Is it the Kiwi?
Why would you have a flightless bird as the logo for your Air Force?
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's like on their Air Force patch that the pilots wear. It's a flightless bird.
Oh, that's so funny. Penguins, ostriches.
That's what Boeing's new logo should be.
Yeah.
The Kiwi or a puffin.
Yeah. Fuck, that's good. Okay, so the Nephilim were described extensively in the book of Enoch. Did I say that right?
What, Enoch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a part of the Jewish Old Testament. Yeah.
So that was a text that was, it's part of the work of Noah's grandfather. The book describes a group of fallen angels who decide to remain on Earth before breeding with humans and creating that race. Though some religious groups think the Nephilim were not wiped out by the Great Flood on account of being too tall, most think nothing survived except for Noah's boat. But that doesn't stop people from believing they found Nephilim remains. In 1577, a collection of bones found in Switzerland were thought to be those of a giant. So that's one of the histories. They think that maybe the giant people were also the lizard people.
But 1577, we're going to classify that as giants. They didn't even know dinosaurs were a thing.
That's true. Yeah. When you found, yes, good point. When you find
I'm not trusting any fossil records from people from the 1500s because you didn't even know what a T-Rex was.
you find a massive skeleton, it might just be a prehistoric animal.
Like even George Washington didn't know. Right.
Yeah.
He didn't know about dinosaurs?
No.
I feel bad. That makes me sad.
I think the first president to find out about dinosaurs was Grover Cleveland.
That's wild to me. So are you telling me?
So that's why when people are like, well, what did the founders think? I don't know. What did they think about pterodactyls?
Are you telling me that all the sick T-shirts that I've seen of like Abraham Lincoln riding a T-Rex shooting a machine gun, if he were alive right now, he would be like, "What the fuck is all this?"
He wouldn't know what was in his hands or what he was riding.
That's crazy to think. It does make you think like what, in the future. There will be some sick Donald Trump airbrush T-shirts that come out.
Oh, yeah.
200 years from now.
Yeah.
What is he even going to be on? What is he going to be holding?
I don't know. What was here before?
Yeah. All
Lizard
right.
people.
So there's a legend of the lizard man of Scape or Swamp. A South Carolina legend involves a young man getting a flat tire late one night in 1988 while driving near Scape or Swamp in Lee County. According to the tale, he got out of his car to change it. Then from the shadows emerged a creature that's green, wet, 7 feet tall, with 3 fingers, red eyes, and scales. This might be a member of the Murtaugh
I
family.
think it was actually old Greg.
Oh, great.
He was drinking Bailey's from his shoe.
As a young man scrambled to drive away, the creature viciously attacked his car. 17-year-old Christopher Davis reported the incident to the Lee County Sheriff's Department. There were many sightings of the lizard man that followed, often involving the destruction of vehicles, and whether or not lizard man was real, tales of the creature left a permanent mark on the small agricultural town of Bishopville. No matter who you are, it's part of the local folklore now. Bishopville local Robert Howell told me. It might not be the way Bishopville chose to get on the map. They probably would have rather had someone living here who got a Nobel Peace Prize, but Bishopville, home of the lizard man, what's wrong with that? Yeah, I guess so.
A lot of towns not known for nothing.
Yeah, it's good to have something.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, people just pass through. At least now they're pulling over, buying a commemorative lizard man hat, maybe a mask. Also, it could be somebody that was affected by radiation from a nuclear bomb that fell off of a plane along the North Carolina-South Carolina border.
Twice.
Same location?
Both time nuclear waste has been spilled from an aircraft has been in North Carolina.
That's crazy.
Both of them.
And one of the bombs should have exploded.
Yep.
It was stopped by a single fuse, right?
I think it actually came from a B-52 as well. Like the B-52 went down.
Yeah, like disintegrated in midair.
Yeah.
And it had a fully armed nuclear weapon on it. Crazy. So locals embraced the legend. They made the first ever Lizard Man Festival and Comic-Con event in 2018. But they have not unearthed any other sightings of the Lizard Man since then. So they basically took the Mothman, the tales of the Mothman from West Virginia, and then they just said, we're going to copy everything they do, and we're going to have festivals, we're going to sell merchandise, and it's going to be the largest economic driver. They say the Mothman is the biggest economic factor of any point between Pittsburgh and Charleston, West Virginia. So think about that. Think about all the big cities between Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Charleston, West Virginia. I don't think there are any.
You've got
Charlestown.
Is Huntington, West Virginia between those?
No, that's out by Kentucky.
I don't know. I could not point to you on a map where any town in West Virginia is.
So
Morgantown, I know, is close to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think Morgantown is north of Charlestown. There's Charlestown and Charleston, which is very confusing. Charlestown has races and slots. You can go there, bet on the ponies. But yeah, the Mothman brings a lot of money in, and so Bishopville is trying to do that with their Lizard Man. It might just be a case of somebody pretending to see a lizard man so that they can do a festival about the lizard man.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make money somehow.
Yeah.
What's the origin of it? Why do they think it has to be lizards? Like, what is the good thing about reptiles and a humanoid like together?
That's a good question. I think it's just very evil sounding.
Is it a different way to say alien?
Yeah,
like essentially.
Yeah, it's super evil sounding to be like, yeah, there's lizard people that secretly run the entire world. You can't. I mean, what other species would be creepier than that?
But you got to come up with something better, like than lizard. Like it just doesn't seem. You got to come up with something better than that.
Rat people.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what can make you believe it or why it would. How do these things gain like widespread notoriety?
I think because it's just cool. Sometimes it's cool to believe in stuff.
It was like compiled over generations. I think originally it was like I was reading something about it. There's this dude who was doing like a mining excavation during the Depression, and he was I think he was trying to get gold. So he had like I forget what city he was in, but some county gave him money for it. Figure out he was getting shafted, and there was this dude who did like massive like fugazi shit to try to get attention, and then he came up with that idea, and I forget his name. Fuck, I should have had it written down. But like over the years, it just gained steam and more steam, and then like shit gets added to it, right? So like it starts with like a reptilian race, and then it goes to like the royal bloodline, and then it goes to like the conspiracy of like they're controlling all of everything. And it just gets more and more juicier because the more and more you can't verify, the more and more it's appealing. What was that? The royal bloodline thing was like every U.S. president is related to a guy by the name of King John. And if you like, and there was this like, I think she was like a 9th grader or something like that. She went down like with the help of her parents, and she listed like every single lineage member of every president. And I think all but like Martin Van Buren, they were all related in somehow to King John. And I think it came from a guy by the name of, where is it? I just had it written down. Brooks Baker. Is that his name? Harold Brooks Baker. And so he had this theory that all of the U.S. presidents were related in some kind of way, and the next presidential election is only dictated, or that they're selected by who was the most related to King John. Crazy shit.
So I think there's some comfort in having the belief that you're being controlled by something else. Like that everything about the world is being masterminded by a secret group of people.
So instead of doing like religion, you're going with lizard people.
Yeah. I think that people find comfort in creating some sort of order out of what can be like a very chaotic experience as a human. So it's easier for them to say either like God is doing all this, or there's a group of lizard people that have actually taken over society, and every person you see on TV is of that race.
Just giving yourself a little cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
It's not that far off from a lot of religious views. Like when you sit down and think about some of the religious views that people actually espouse. I mean, there's a lot of people convinced that motherfucker lived inside of a whale for 3 days.
Yeah, that might be facts though.
See what I'm saying?
It only says big fish.
Yeah, big fish. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, big fish.
Could you survive inside a whale?
No,
Could you?
bro.
Yeah.
No.
What happens when if you're swallowed whole by a sea creature?
Suffocation.
There's no air in there.
No, not that. No.
So it would take you a good minute and a half to die.
I mean, the gases that would be inside the stomach to break down everything, that alone, in there would be pretty rough.
You inhale that.
3 days is a long time, bro.
You would probably get sucked in. You would take a deep breath. You would smell whatever the smell was. Then you would puke. Then you would drown on your own puke.
Something. It wouldn't
Something
be
like
good.
that?
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be great.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people that believe in this, though. So in 2013, Public Policy Polling put out a poll, and one of the questions was whether voters believe that shape-shifting reptilian people control the world by taking human form and gaining power. And 4% of people said yes, 88% said no, and 7% said that they were not sure.
That's why Big T's so calm.
I would be on.
What do you mean?
You said earlier, PFT said you was calm because you believe most people are stupid.
In fairness, only 10%. You can just discount 10% of people will believe anything.
That's a lot of motherfuckers, though. Let's see,
it is
330 million people just in America. That's a lot of 10% of that is a lot of people.
It is, but if it's under 10%, generally that's fine.
If under 10% of people believe something, then you know for a fact that it's not true.
It's like Jill Stein voters.
Yeah,
You have that amount of people
that will do anything. Also,
I'm more curious on the 7% than the 4%.
That aren't sure.
Could be. I guess they're open to evidence.
Yeah.
We have to do more work.
Free thinkers. Yeah.
So if it were me and I got this phone call and they gave me this question, I would 1,000,000% say yes. I believe that there's shape-shifting lizard people that exist that control everything.
I'd like to know the rest of that survey.
Okay, so there's other questions on here.
Was it all surrounding reptilians?
Not all.
I didn't know if it was a political thing, and they were like, "Hey, by the way,
Just sneak it in there."
Yeah. So the way that you can,
What's your view on?
you said you hate Hillary. Do you believe that she's a reptilian?
Is this the reason why?
just guide people further and further down the rabbit hole. Yeah, with each question.
You hate her because of A, her emails, B, because she's a lizard person.
Yeah.
All the people she killed in Arkansas?
Yeah, if you knew that she was a lizard person, would that make you more or less likely to vote for her?
More, honestly.
Yeah, I think people would say more.
If there's a definitive lizard person and it's proven, I'm voting for that.
Yeah, if you're an out lizard person,
Yeah,
it's like, yes, thank you for your bravery.
right.
Let's do this.
How much smarter are you than me? Because then I want to see them take the Wonderlick. I want to see how they do.
Well, because the original theory is that they were from another planet and then came here and made us, right?
Yeah, like the Anunnaki, yeah.
Right, yeah. So let's see what else is out there, dog.
Yeah.
Show us the way.
It's got to be better than what we've had the last decade.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're like their experiment.
If Biden said he was a lizard person, I think more people would be inclined to vote for him.
Oh,
They
yeah.
must deteriorate rapidly after a certain age then.
Maybe that explains why he freezes up. He's cold-blooded.
Yeah. He's shedding his skin.
It was an overcast day at Normandy.
He needs to go out and just lay on a hot rock somewhere.
Yeah, that's where Barack was taking him.
Yeah.
To a big piece of slate outside.
Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. I made you some flies.
Let me be clear. He's a lizard.
So also in that poll, they asked a bunch of weird questions. Well, so with the 4%, you could take that 4% to 11% if you include the people that said that they're not sure. You could extrapolate that and say that 12 million Americans believe that lizard people run the country.
I'm going to blog that.
Yeah.
More than that.
Well, so 12 million would be the 4%.
Right.
But you could, triple
Up
that?
to 30.
So worldwide, what's 4% of 7 billion?
280 million.
280 million people across the world believe that lizards are running everything.
So if they all banded together, the lizard people, the people that think that lizard people run the world, they could form a pretty substantial army. And I would imagine that most lizard believers would be more militant and willing to fight for their beliefs. Like, if they got together, they could potentially take over the world.
Without a doubt. I mean, because it's 7% of the world's population is American. So if you had 4% lizards, like that's a lot of people believing in lizards.
Yes, it is. And if you're convinced that that every other country is run by a lizard person, and this is your giant war of good versus evil, humans versus lizards, you could get 50% of your entire country to sign up as a soldier.
Oh, yeah.
I bet.
I'm knocking on the door to get in to fight for a lizard.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm doing my part. It's Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is dangerous. So in the same poll, they asked about the moon landing. 7% said it was fake. I thought that would be higher.
Yeah, if it's 4% lizards, that should be much higher.
I think that if you did the same poll right now, we might see big upticks in lizard believers and moon landing truthers. They asked, do you think Paul McCartney died in 1966 and was secretly replaced in the Beatles? 5% said yes. Do you believe there's a secretive power elite with a globalist agenda that's conspiring to eventually rule the world through an authoritarian world government?
Absolutely.
28% said yes. Do you think it's secretive?
I mean, to some extent. Like, what do you mean?
What part of it? Because I don't think that you believe it's secretive. I think that you believe that they're out there admitting this.
Admitting what? I think we know that there's some sort of organization being they're both nouns. Not an organization in the sense that Barstool Sports is an organization, but like there is a collective organized activity underneath the surface level that we don't see.
Like the billionaires, the elites.
Sure, they're some of it, yeah.
The elites. People were asked, do you believe in Bigfoot or Sasquatch? 14% said yes. Do you believe the media or government adds secret mind-controlling technology to television broadcast signals?
Was JFK Jr. on there? Being alive?
I don't.
I bet those numbers are high.
They're pretty high, yeah. 15% believe in mind control technology that's being pumped through our TVs. Marketing, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe that the exhaust seen in the sky behind airplanes is actually chemtrails that are sprayed by the government for sinister reasons? 5% said yes. Do aliens exist? 29% said yes.
See, that should be way higher
than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that should be way higher.
Yeah, I think that should be way higher than that. I think, again, all these numbers, if you were to ask this poll today, would be at
what
least
year was this?
double. This was 2013, so 11 years ago.
Aliens should be 100%.
Aliens should be close to 100, yes.
I'm okay with it in the
Close.
90s. I'm okay with it in the 90s.
Should be. Some type of alien life, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And an infinite universe?
That's just my whole thing, is that
We don't know that it's
the absence of evidence seems to be people's evidence, and that doesn't make sense.
That's a big dose of irony.
There have
No,
been...
it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You believe in a God.
Right.
Yeah, that's explicitly not. The Bible is based on faith, not evidence.
Well,
Though I believe there is evidence.
There's what we call
That's not what
special
Romans
pleading, my
chapter
brother.
1 says. Romans chapter 1 says that the universe is the evidence of the
I said I do believe there is evidence, but also you have to have faith to be a Christian.
That's called special pleading.
What's that?
It's a logical fallacy saying rules for thee, not for me. So like the logic in which that you believe in your God is the same logic in which people say that there's aliens, but you dismiss that logic and say that's nonsense. But
No, it's not. It isn't, though.
It's the same logic.
If you're
There's
saying
just
that
as much evidence for a God as there is for aliens. Exact same amount, actually.
I don't agree with that at all, but
You can agree with it or not, but it's the truth.
Yeah, there's a great clip on that from Ricky Gervais on, I think, with Stephen Colbert, where he's like, well, over the course of history, we have well over 1,500 gods that have been documented and have been written about in religion. I don't believe in you don't believe in 1499. I just don't believe in the one more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
But if you believe that there is a God, then the universe's existence is evidence of that. So, but you're saying for aliens, the evidence is just that the universe is infinite and that there is.
No.
Then what else?
Probabilistically, there's more of a case for aliens than there is for a God. The reasons as to why is, okay, we understand how life evolved on this earth, right? And this earth is relatively young compared to what we know of the known universe, which is about 13.4 or 6 or something like that billion years old. And so if we know under these certain conditions that life has developed in an abundance, this is one star system in one galaxy. And there's billions and trillions of star systems in our galaxy. And there's billions or trillions of galaxies. So probabilistically, it is very likely that life has evolved in under same or different circumstances in other places.
you could see the building blocks of life throughout the rest of the universe. You can't see the building blocks of a being of God.
So like,
Sure.
what makes life, like carbon, right? Carbon, oxygen, water, stuff like that. We can see those in the other galaxies from the light that we have through, what is it, spectral lensing, something like that. But we can see those elements in those galaxies, in those star systems. And so the odds are probably really good that there is other life out there.
Which is why you have guys like Thomas Aquinas that come up with the 5 general statements about the being of God to whenever like astrophysics was getting first going, he came up with a rule set that really was a separator from science and observable universe to the philosophical side of religion, like the uncaused cause, the unmoved mover, the unsustained sustainer. Like, and that's where they developed the reasoning portion of removing science and religion as one school.
Mm-hmm. I hope there is one. Just clear. That would be fire if there is one. I just don't see it. That'd be dope.
Could be real fire though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I would highly doubt that. You know what I'm saying? That just seems so unreasonable to me.
Yeah.
Arian, if you're wrong, you die, you go to hell, and you're in hell, and you know why you're in hell because there is a God. Are you low-key like, that's pretty cool?
Say that one more time.
Okay, if you die and you go to hell because you didn't believe in God,
right?
But you are fully aware of the fact that you are in hell because you didn't believe in God and there is a God who sent you there.
Right.
Are you like, that's kind of cool that there's a God. That's
kind
awesome. I'm glad I know that.
Kind of the badass of the afterlife.
Yeah, like I've been owned. You know what? I got to take my hat off to God.
Yeah.
I would just be like, yo, you're so unreasonable. And I have no issue telling them that. Like, you're an unreasonable being, deity. Like,
why?
He gave you zero evidence to any logical person. You even said you have to have faith. Well, I don't have it. Whatever sector of the brain that says that you have to, I don't have that.
Okay,
I would like tangible evidence that you have not a 2,000-year-old document that is falsifiable and was written by hundreds of people.
Okay. So we've had part of this discussion before, which is just that if there was a blinking neon sign in the sky that said God is real, then there wouldn't be any. Then it would just be, what's
Why
the
does
point?
it need to be a mystery? If your greatness and complete majesty encompasses everything in the universe, why would you want it to be a mystery? In order for the people that, so I'll break it down this way. This is what really
I would argue.
I'll tell you what changed my perspective on religion in general. If you believe, like the Bible says, that I came to separate the sheep from the goats, right? Like sheep from the goats is the analogy. A sheep can never become a goat. A goat can never become a sheep. You are counted in a certain way. If you are all loving, all knowing, which we all like, that's what it says. Why in the world would you design a universe in which those that you created and love, like if I created my own children and loved them, I would never have wanted to bring them into earth if I knew that there was a chance that they could burn in hell forever. Like, why would you take a vast majority of the things that you love and created to send them to hell for eternity.
Well, I would argue that giving people free will is benevolent.
What you invented if you're God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
You
like
correct.
if you invent free will, there was design that someone would use it and eventually betray you in a way that you would have to burn them because they did what they were designed to be able to do.
But again, it's unreasonable. It's so unreasonable.
Well, the other thing I was going to say is
I got 5 kids. I put them in a place with all the things I know that they like: candy, ice cream, food on us, and I say, hey, this is here. I'm going to leave the room for a day. Do not touch this or you will be punished. That is fucking unreasonable. It doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? All to test their love for me? It's narcissistic. It's unreasonable. And there's so many other ways you could prove your existence other than that shit. There's so many other ways. And then the blood sacrifice thing. I mean, it's very obvious that was a thing back then when this stuff was written, that blood sacrifices were a thing. Why must you murder your son to prove your love for your creation? It's unreasonable.
It was a gotcha, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
to be fair, he didn't do it.
He did a psych.
That's unreasonable.
The other thing
and
I
it
was
wasn't
going
even
to say
3
though,
days.
is,
It was like 38 hours.
what, Jonah?
No, Jesus. If he was crucified at the night of...
Well, people just
it was
say that
It was
wrong.
like 36 hours.
It's
Show
on
me
the
a 3
third
day.
day.
I'm gonna die for your sins for 36 hours. I'm gonna take a short weekend.
I never thought about that. So, like, by the clock,
Right.
it's not 3 full days.
When
but
you
by
wake
the-
up
by the
Sunday
calendar.
morning, whenever the sun came up,
Yeah.
and Friday night when the sun went down.
That's very interesting to think about.
So it's really a 36-hour. See you later.
I just want to
fuzzy
say
math.
one more thing to Arian, which I know you'll obviously
It's not
disagree
even a
with, but
full
this was the
Hey,
second
drink
part
a
of what I
couple
was going to
cans.
say.
Yeah.
It's not a full weekend.
Would it be benevolent of God to you have the capacity to learn about God, do whatever you want, choose to follow him, you're aware of it. You have chosen to not follow that, and that's fine. Would it be benevolent of God for you to live your life and then you die and God is like, I'm going to force you to spend it with me after you spent it separate?
Again, it's unreasonable.
But would that be you knowingly chose to live your life separate from God?
For good reasons, though.
Whatever reasons you have.
I mean,
and
the
then-
receipts he gave for his existence are littered with contradiction and littered with controversy. So if he says he's the author of the devil is the author of confusion. Well, if that's not the most confusing book ever written,
Who created the devil? If you really believe that everything came ex nihilo from less than nothing, God created the devil with a specific purpose to fulfill for the rest of eternity. God created hell, which would be a place that would be infinitely tormenting for people that he supposedly loved to the point that he would send his son. The entire thing, like when you look at it from how would this really shape out? I don't want you to be involved with the devil, but I created it. I don't want you to choose this, but I gave you the free choice. I don't want any kids to have cancer, but I allowed those cells to evolve in that way. To me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I wouldn't mind to answer your question, Big T. I wouldn't mind him doing whatever he wants to do. Like, obviously, if this is true, if all that shit is true, I don't have a choice, right? I would like to speak my piece and to tell him how unreasonable he is, and he should know because he's all knowing. I think you're really unreasonable, and I think you're kind of narcissistic, and you're not as loving as you proclaim to be.
Arian gets to hell, and the first thing he does is ask, "Can I speak with the manager here, please?" I got some things I gotta.
It would be a bad day to be St. Peter, not you, brother.
Yeah.
You might
Get
be
out of
able to
here.
fill out a complaint card. I'm sure that would.
Peter, get your ass out of here, Paul. We've talked to you enough. Why didn't you write more than 13 letters?
Just saying.
Because I think I would get to hell, and I would say, like, "Well played, God, touche."
Touche.
But there was also thought for a
Where's
long
the
time.
alcohol and cigarettes?
Yeah,
The idea of hell, like how we think about it now, wasn't how hell was thought about like before the 1200s. Like before then, like because of the way that the Greek Aramaic was translated at first, there was 3 hells that are listed. Hell that is completely the absence of God, hell that is the not knowing of God, and hell that is here on earth. So the one that was primarily spoken about in a lot of the Old Testament was the hell that is here on earth, because hell was originally described as being separate from God. So if you're currently living, that is your hell, and your goodness and your heaven is when you're reunited with God. So that the way hell, as it's described now in like modern evangelical circles, did not exist until at least 1,000.
Yeah, and then there was some like flowery language that was put upon it by even like some old folk tales.
Yeah.
That weren't necessarily even that like strictly religious, where they really fleshed out the idea of who this Satan guy is.
Right. Just like there was no
looks like.
mention of the word Christian until 330. Like that didn't happen until the Council of Nicaea.
Interesting. Good talk. Good God talk. What's your favorite logical fallacy?
Ad hominem.
Yeah.
I love
Is it,
it.
yeah, if everyone to do it.
You love to use it.
I love using it.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if I'm getting close to being wrong. Well, you're a fucking idiot. How about that?
Yeah. You dork. Nice shirt, asshole.
Hey, yeah, sure, I failed this Russian class, but at least I got a big cock, unlike you, little dick bitch.
Yeah, that's good. See, it's called a fallacy, but I think it works.
It
the
does.
most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
They all do, though. Like a red herring works.
Yep. I like the No True Scotsman. You know that one? That's a good one.
I use the red herring on my kids all the time if I knew I made a bad decision as a parent. Like where for something small, like oh, you said I couldn't do this, we're doing that. And I'll be like, well, oh, when we're driving down, I'll legit be like, look at that over there. What's going on? And the conversation shifts.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Straw man. Straw man's probably my favorite.
Yeah. Just build up a fake argument for somebody.
Yeah. Well, I like, that's the one I like to, I guess, recognize the most. The one I like to use the most is the ad hominem, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red herring is good. Yeah. As they get older and wiser, it might become more difficult, but then you can just like lean into the obvious red herrings.
You got to be way more subtle with it.
Yeah. Dad, why did you steal my college money and embezzle it and gamble it away on sports? Your shoes untied.
Yo.
Yeah.
Whataboutisms are good too.
What about
it is good. Do you guys know the Scotsman one?
Mm-mm.
That's
Isn't it like this?
you say no Scotsman puts sugar on his porridge. And then a Scottish guy's like, well, my Uncle Angus, he loves porridge, and he's from Scotland. He puts sugar on his porridge all the time. And then you say, no true Scotsman puts sugar on his porridge.
Yeah.
So you just like redefine your argument as it's like a work. It's like jazz. You keep the argument modifying. You do some improv, trim it around the edges a little bit, narrow it down, and you can't be proven wrong by it. Big T, do you have one?
I would have said red herring, but I don't really. I care about them all equally little. I didn't know that you could have a favorite one.
I love people in Twitter replies that get into like these logical debates, and then they very confidently point out the logical fallacies. They're like, I have won this argument.
Yeah.
And then it's over. Those are good people out there using their brains.
What do you think the most used one is? Got to be what about, right? Like modern circles.
Whataboutism.
Yeah.
What about? It's got to be.
I mean, ad
Straw man
hominem.
is pretty prevalent as well.
Yeah, because we don't bother to learn the other side's argument in any debate that we're in, really.
Well, that would be a steel man. Like just steel man somebody's argument. So like I would say your argument for you, and be like, is this correct? And you're like, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. But okay, that's a steel man. So a straw man would be like
B-rabbit.
me postulating something that you didn't say. It's like, well, you're arguing that the sun is actually red because blah blah blah. And you're like, I never said that. That's a straw man. So I'm inventing an argument and I'm arguing it against it rather than something that you actually said.
Is steel man devil's advocate?
No, a steel man is more like your. Okay,
A
let me get
straw
this
man is
correctly.
presenting someone else's position the worst it could possibly be. A steel man is saying, okay, let's say you're correct and present it the best it can be, and still I will rebut it with this.
That's right. I saw a clip from Joe Rogan just the other week, and they were talking about the moon landing. And then it was a moon landing truther that was a guest on the show. And Joe kept saying, I'm going to steel man this argument, and was just like arguing with the guy about the moon landing. And eventually the moon landing guy was like, it sounds like you're just really not a moon landing truther, and you're just attacking me personally here. What's this about?
Well, he used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was on Rogan, I think it was like 2017-ish, I had asked him about that, and it went viral. I asked him, like, you used to be a moon landing guy, like what happened? And he like went down to the reasons as to why he's. I think now he's probably less and less inclined to be like, I don't think it happened. He thinks there's some footage that was faked, and it is some crazy shit as far as like there's some footage that was like lost, like they had like loads of footage that just like disappeared. But then he used to be all in.
I think now he's of the position that there were certain elements that were enhanced or faked, but the reasons why they did that was because they wanted to get like good pictures and show off that they landed on the moon.
Yeah.
To like brag in the Russians' face and be like, we did it first, but they were actually there.
Yep.
So aliens exist. 29% of people said yes in this poll. That should be higher. The JFK assassination, 51% of people said that they don't believe the story that we've been fed. And I think that should be higher too nowadays.
Didn't Trump just come out and say he was going to release?
No, he said he wasn't.
Yeah, he said if you knew what I know.
He originally said he was going to, and then he never did. And somebody asked him about it, and he was like, well, if you found out what I found out, you wouldn't do it either.
But he said that a bunch of other stuff he would unveil.
He said that about the Epstein list too, that he wouldn't declassify that.
Yeah, because he said that there's a lot of innocent people whose names might be on certain logs.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, which I actually kind of agree with him on.
I do agree with that as well.
I mean, I want to know who was on the jet and who was flying to the island. There should be an island list. Or release the island list. That way we can talk to the people that visit the island to see.
That's tough too, though, man.
It's bullshit that there's so much stuff that you can't. Freedom of Information Act. Like that should be. I think you should be able to.
Yeah, the flight.
If you're innocent, defend yourself.
Yeah, I would say that not. If you go to the island and it's
Drake a pedophile? Probably more than likely not, right? But he has an anthem out right now that no matter what he does, that's what people are going to associate it with. And so you can't really defend yourself from being a pedophile. If you ever accused of that shit,
yeah,
you look weird defending yourself as a pedophile, but you look weird if you don't defend yourself. So it's like it's a catch-22. I'm not sure if it's this cut and dry like that. So that's why it's like, I know there's a lot of people that fucked with Epstein that was on some charity work because that was his cover up. And so there could be some innocent people there. I don't know. It's a tough
for sure.
part of
There definitely could be. I'm not saying that everybody that would be on that list is guilty by any means. I'm just saying that the list should probably be out.
It's tough. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree either way. It's just, it would be tough for somebody who's like, dog, I was there for a charity event. Like, why you put this on my jacket? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. I don't know. It's tough.
My favorite question that they asked, though, from public policy polling, when they polled Americans, they asked them, are you in favor of bombing Agrabah? 30% of Republicans said yes. 19%.
That's Aladdin.
19% of Democrats said yes. It's the fictional country in Aladdin. Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, it sounds bad. Let's bomb it.
I mean, Jafar is a pretty bad dude. We should
Yeah.
probably try to take him out.
At least take that staff.
Yeah, get his staff.
We should just, if it's a magical staff, get rid of it.
Get Iago out of here.
Yeah.
Wait, Jafar's not even the. He never really ruled for like, what, 30 minutes?
I probably
tops?
haven't seen the movie since 2001. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I think he ruled for like 30 minutes tops before his ego got him, his hubris got him, and Aladdin tricked him into wanting to be a genie, and then they put him in the lamp. So it was like 30 minutes tops where he was the ruler of Agrabah.
That was it?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. He or what's it before?
Well, you're talking about 30 minutes movie time.
He's like the President Harding.
When did he actually?
Harrison?
Harrison,
William Henry Harrison, yeah. He got
don't know
hammered
how-
at his inauguration, stayed out in the cold, and died.
Yeah. He talked for an hour. He talked for 90 minutes.
That serves him right.
It does.
That's instant karma. You know who believed in the lizard people was the guy that bombed Nashville on 2020 on
yeah.
Christmas Day.
I still want to know more about this.
Okay, I'll tell you a little
It
bit
went
about him.
away real quick.
Anthony Quinn Warner, he was the suicide bomber that died in a Christmas Day attack in downtown Nashville. It damaged 41 buildings, injured 3 people. He believed in the Reptilian conspiracy, according to the documents they found. He was 63. He detonated the bomb inside his RV in downtown Nashville. A man who knew Warner received a package from him on New Year's Day. The nondescript package included 9 typed pages and 2 Samsung thumb drives. It was postmarked December 23rd, 2 days before the investigators say that Warner killed himself in the bombing. It got sent to the FBI. Among other things, Warner wrote about reptilians and lizard people that he believed controlled the earth and had tweaked human DNA. He wrote, "They put a switch into the human brain so they could walk among us and appear human." On another page, Warner wrote about 9/11, saying the moon landing, 9/11 have so many anomalies, they are hard to count. He wrote that September 2011 was supposed to be the end game for the planet because that's when he believed that aliens and UFOs began launching attacks on Earth. The AP reported in 2019 that police officers visited Warner's home that year after his girlfriend informed them that he was building bombs in an RV. So seems like he was mentally compromised to a certain extent. Also, do you remember like right after that attack, all the pictures of the RV that were posted online and people were saying that's a different RV, and they were using like the farthest away images possible. They're like clearly a different RV, but then you put them side to side, they were like dead similar.
I do not recall that.
I
No.
don't remember that either.
If you just have 2 pictures of anything, people will be like, "That's not her. Those earlobes are different." They'll find something. That happened with possibly a reptilian believer and recurring guest on Macrodosing, Tiffany Gomez. Remember that?
Yeah,
They thought
that
that
motherfucker's not
Yeah,
real,
she
yeah.
did say something about lizards or some shit, right?
she was like, "That motherfucker's not real," and then people started saying that she's not real, which was just a great trump card to play on top of that one, where they were like, "This is a different woman from the plane freak out. Look, her hair is different. Look, she's wearing different clothes. Look, she has earrings."
That's happening right now on TikTok with that Hawk Tua girl. Have you seen
No.
that one? Where you're like, what do you do to keep your man? She was like, you got to give him that Hawk Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people can't find who she is.
They can't find her, so she might
No.
not be real.
Yeah, they found like 5 or 6 women that look just like her, but it's not her. She might have been a Hawk Tua lizard.
Whoa. That's where the internet is now, where if you can't identify somebody within like 6 hours
Not even
based on a
that.
picture, the Edmonton Oilers lady, she went
Oh
like,
no,
yeah.
there's a new one. She does have a fake. She has a body double.
she does?
Did you see the video?
Let me see what her body doubles video looks like.
Did you see the video that came out like yesterday? She's at like a bridge, and she's like, "I just wanted to say like,
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
I whipped my tits out in an Oilers game, whatever."
Oh, well, she said a little bit more than that, Big T. It was a message.
I don't recall
was a
exactly
message
what
to
her
the
entire.
haters.
Sure, okay. That was not her.
Okay.
Different woman.
Different one, you sure?
I'm pretty convinced.
I need to see more.
Okay.
There's certain parts where I'd be able to
All right,
possibly.
pal. All right.
Kick. Okay, and I get the boy crazy allegations.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I don't even care what they're talking about. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Listen, she had a great rack. Fantastic rack. And she seemed happy showing them. This was like a perfectly natural thing to happen. It's not like I'm being a creep.
She had a great rack.
You know what?
This is-
Madeline sounds like a hater. She sounds like one of the haters that she railed against.
Body negative, some are saying.
Yeah.
I am not body negative.
Well, it sounds like you are.
No, I'm proud of her.
Or
She was brave.
you're proud of her?
I'm proud of her.
Me too. I would like to see her do that again. That's
And stunning.
how proud I am of her.
I'm jealous of her.
So yeah, the Nashville RV guy was a big lizard dude.
I'm still woke on that.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. It went away real quick.
Because they found like why he did
That's
it.
what they say.
Okay.
Near one of the largest telecommunications centers in the country.
That's why he did it.
It's
Yeah.
interesting and all.
He was trying to tear shit down because I think he was a 5G guy too.
Could be.
There have been parents that have killed their own families because they thought that they had lizard DNA. There was a guy in Santa Barbara. I don't know how bad things have to be in your personal life for you to just flip out and murder people in Santa Barbara. It's basically heaven on earth. He stabbed his kids in Rosarito because he thought that he was saving the world from monsters. So he stabbed his kids with a spearfishing gun because he was enlightened by QAnon and Illuminati conspiracy theories and believed his wife possessed serpent DNA and passed it on to his children. He told FBI agents he was seeing all the pieces being decoded like the Matrix, and he was Neo. The bodies were found dumped in Mexico 20 miles south of the hotel. It's a real thing, yeah. They ruled that he was not competent to stand trial, and they put him in for intensive treatment. A family friend told the New York Post it doesn't seem like he realizes that he did the deed that he did. He talks about his kids in present tense sometimes. There are times he doesn't seem to grasp that they're gone. After the arrest, his wife Abby left California, returned to her home state of Texas, where she currently lives, surrounded by family. She now goes by another name, but there's no record she divorced her husband. She never spoke publicly about the murders. Maybe she does have serpent DNA. I don't know. But your guy, Big T, Louis C.K.,
my guy.
He straight up asked Donald Rumsfeld face to face if he's a lizard person. So in 2011, Donald Rumsfeld was Secretary of Defense. He wasn't at the time, but he was Secretary of Defense during the Ford administrations and during the W. Bush administrations. He was on the Opie and Anthony show to promote his new book. That's a great booking right there. If you're Opie and Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
And you get Donald Rumsfeld on. Just so happened Louis C.K. was also a guest on the episode. And C.K.
What a double booking.
It's fantastic. So Louis repeatedly asked Rumsfeld whether he's a lizard person and if he has tasted human flesh. Rumsfeld refused to answer the question, and Louis pressed on with, "What would be hurt if you denied you're a lizard?" Asked what was the last plane that he flew on. So they asked Rumsfeld, "What was the last plane that you flew?" Rumsfeld said, "A Grumman F2F." And then Louis C.K. responded, "Did you have more capability to fly because of your lizard reflexes?" Which I think that's fair. I think you should be able to ask people if they're lizards or not. Just engage in debate. There has been a study in 2023 that looked into whether early trauma played a role in the formation of belief in reptilian conspiracies. So in 1939, there was a phenomenon in Galicia, where a bloody cross appeared in the sky just 6 days before Hitler's invasion of Poland. People attempted to make sense of this bizarre event, with some interpreting it as a test of faith from God. During the war, old conspiracy theories resurfaced. Some believe that the events in Europe were part of a larger Masonic scheme, with governments seeking to subject their countries to the Illuminati and the New World Order. In April 2020, during the early days of the coronavirus, patients shared unconventional conspiracy theories that gained significant attention on the internet. According to them, the world was being controlled by a dominant species of lizard humanoids known as reptilians, who comprise the richest and most influential people, top politicians, and celebrities, all conspiring to achieve ultimate control over the non-lizards. The theories were supported by independent internet sources that claimed the conspiracy involved the creation of a false pandemic, followed by the administration of microchips that would cause infertility and ultimately lead to the depopulation of humanity. But according to evolutionary psychologists, belief in conspiracies such as the reptilians may be a byproduct of cognitive mechanisms that ensure our survival. So it's a new area that they're researching, but the scale is significant, and it suggests that people tend to turn to conspiracies during times of uncertainty, natural disasters, wars, civil unrest, social change. They're also linked to prejudice against powerful groups and those perceived as enemies. It's noteworthy that some conspiracy theories have been verified in the past. Obviously, we've talked about some that are verifiable, like COINTELPRO. But some conspiracy theories start from pre-existing mistrust in the establishment. They offer responses to the anxiety caused by the absence of a universal principle, consistency, and rationality in society, like the reptilian seems to be one that people go to when they're just overwhelmed with the world. They also claim that one of Obama's Secret Service agents was reptilian, and they got a response. So there's a group called the Reptilian Resistance Movement United. Can we look that up?
We should have reached out to somebody over there.
We should have. Can you look them up real quick, Big T? I'd like to see some of the literature.
RRMU?
Yeah, Reptilian Resistance Movement United. They stand opposed to reptilian alien hybrids that have infiltrated the most senior levels of government. They put out a video of Obama giving an address to AIPAC, that features a member of his Secret Service detail who's bald and has weird-looking features. And they say the video is proof of shape-shifting reptilian humanoids. It's got 3.3 million views. And National Security Council spokeswoman Caitlin Hayden addressed it, saying that that program would be too expensive. I can't control the claims made in this video, can't confirm them, but any alleged program to guard the president with aliens or robots would likely have to be scaled back or eliminated in the sequester of the government. I'd refer you to Secret Service or Area 51 for more details. Basically saying this program's too expensive. We have to do budget cuts.
The Obama video where the Secret Service agent allegedly does whatever he does to make them think that, can't find it anymore. It's been deleted.
Interesting.
Sure is.
And how long did you spend looking this up?
What year
Since we've been talking about it? 2013.
Oh.
Service Reptilian. Let's see what I can find here.
Because when I used to work in Secret Service, but it was before then. There was no reptile allegations that I was aware of.
So you could potentially be a reptile.
Could be.
It has been taken down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing this. It's not on YouTube anymore.
Which is what the government always does with ridiculous, frivolous videos, right? They take all of them down.
Oh, wait. This might be it. Let's see. I'm waiting for it to
I really
load.
hope it's not.
Oh, it is. It is. It's right here. So let's see. Here's Obama. Oh, my battery's about to die on my laptop. Isn't that convenient? All right. Here's Obama talking to people. Looking smooth. A little too smooth. Barrio.
Reptilian, someone said.
There he is.
Oh, that's a reptile. Without a doubt.
That guy is a reptile.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a reptile.
They have 3 angles on this.
That wasn't the Secret Service agent.
Oh. Well, whoever that was, he was.
Yeah, that guy's a
definitely-
reptile, too.
Yeah. He's iguana adjacent, at the very least.
Are you sure? Are you sure that wasn't
Where
the
did
Secret Service?
Yeah, it said that was like a delegate at the. It says it was at the
APAC.
AIPAC Zionist conference, which boy would he get canceled for that now. And that looked like a delegate or something. That was not a secret. They don't have name tags for Secret Service agents. Also, that guy was like 80.
Wait, here he is, right here. This guy. Okay, they're zooming in. It looks like a bald guy that's looking around.
Yeah. Looks like the guy who played Voldemort.
It hasn't happened yet.
That's the entire clip.
All right. Well, that video sucks.
Okay, so maybe
They took down the real one that had
yeah, there you
better.
go.
You seen it before?
No, I have no idea.
Oh.
But yeah, this is a red herring. It is from the Reptilian Resistance. Did you find anything about them?
They don't have like a website or anything. There's a thing on theconversation.com that talks about them, but they don't seem to have like a homepage you can go to.
That's a mistake.
Which is how you know it's a real good organization, actually, that they're not just putting their shit out there for any Tom, Dick, and Harry to look at.
You have to be
You got
invited.
to know somebody.
Yeah. You have to be invited.
You don't start leading the world because you're an idiot, though. Well, I guess most of the time.
Do you think that the Reptilian Resistance, maybe they're reptilians themselves and they're different species of reptilians?
Are we not all different species of reptilians at the end of the day?
That's a good question.
That's true.
I'm just thinking maybe these guys are the freedom fighters.
I got
Real patriots.
reptilian people, like reptiles are some of the most terrifying things in the world. Like a gator.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there were alligators that were people, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
They're basically dinosaurs.
Right.
All right. That concludes my wealth of knowledge on reptilians. You guys have anything else?
I'm going to give a thumb down. Reptilians.
You don't think they exist?
Not buying that one.
But you are a Secret Service agent.
That's what I would say to throw you off.
Compromised.
What do they ask you in the interview to be a secret? Do they ask you like?
I was never a Secret Service agent. I worked with the Marine Corps version of that. So
Okay.
it's a unit that goes around and travels with the president, and we went to the UN or something like that. I would go in with a dog and make sure that there's no bombs in the UN, or if we're going on a trip to a different country, like cabinet officials and higher, you would go with them and make sure there's no bombs.
Why do you think Secret Service party's so hard?
It's boring, dude. It's like so fucking boring. Like your day is legit standing there. Like people think it sounds like a glamorous job. It is awful. You're basically a Walmart greeter that can't talk to people. Like you just stand there all damn day.
Are you looking for problems if you're in the Secret Service, do you think? Like you want some action?
I think you're looking to kill yourself. Like like you behind your dark glasses, standing there in the corner,
just crying
with your arms crossed, talking to maybe one other person. You can't leave, you can't do anything. You just stand there for days. Like you go back and forth. Like when I would do it, it was some of the least favorite times I had while doing Marine stuff.
When you get to do an advanced scouting thing, that's probably the best. Where you like fly into a country beforehand, you get some time to yourself.
So my favorite time, it was right after Obama got inaugurated. He had this big dinner at the Lincoln Center in New York, and I was part of the advanced crew to go check out the place. So I went in, and whenever they were warming up, like I was in the room when Billy Joel and John Legend and Bruce Springsteen were there doing their sound checks. It was me, my dog, and them, like walk around in their sound crew. So that was really cool. But then if you went the advanced crew, you hand it off to the people whose jobs really sucks. I make sure nothing's there, and then they stay there until after the president leaves. So anything that you have to search beforehand always has like eyes on. That you can tell where everything is.
Yeah. I can see where that would be very boring. And
So boring.
They're always getting like in deep trouble for partying.
Colombia.
There were a bunch of like hookers and blow and crazy shit like that.
Do you remember hearing the story from Colombia a few years ago? Like I say a few, like 12 years ago now.
I don't know.
So I think it was President Obama that he was on a trip to Colombia, and there was like 30 Secret Service agents that got busted going to brothels and like repeat customers at brothels. And I had just got retired from the Marine Corps, and if not, it would have been three of my guys were on that trip.
Oh no. So did you know the guys?
Yeah,
that were still there.
Yeah, that's the reason where Chaps McNeely comes from, is trips like that where I didn't use my real name.
And you would by Chaps.
Yep, Chaps McNeely is what I went by. And so that's how I have my name, like that I use all the time, is because of trips like that.
Wow. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
For some reason, I thought Chaps was kind of your real name.
So did I. Do people know your real name? Is that a secret?
Most people here don't even know. It's Matthew Cawthron.
Yeah.
But most people, yeah. Like, so when
didn't know that.
I've been working here for like probably a year, and there was a big email that went out, maybe not a year, no, like 3 or 4 months. And there was a big email that went out like, does anybody work with any of the managers know who Matthew Cawthron is? We've been paying him, and we want to make sure that he has. And I emailed Erica and Dave, and I was like, that's me. They're like, what? And so they processed my paperwork. They didn't know that was my real name. And then I found out that they had been paying me double of what my contract was, because it was very
You're the original
early.
Rico Bosco.
Yeah, it was very original stages of the company, like having like that level of finances going on.
Yeah.
And so they put, instead of monthly salary, they put biweekly. And I called Dave. I was like, I think you're paying me way too much. And he was like, I would have never known.
Yeah, you
like,
That's
I might have just
good
tucked
karma.
that one, dog.
And I was
karma
like,
to you.
and I asked him, I was like, do you want me to give it back? Do you want me to pay you back? Because it was a decent chunk of change, like tens of thousands of dollars. And he was like, no, just keep it. And we'll just switch it back to regular.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So I think it was like 6 months. Something
It's
like
not
that.
your fault. Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
But I was like, damn, that fucking at that time was like 70 grand goes a lot further than I thought it did.
Where did the uncle part come from?
So it's a Snoop Dogg reference, and from Jaguar's Twitter. I watched this video, and Snoop calls everybody nephew, and I was like, what a fucking power move to call people that your same age nephew.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be the uncle of Jag's Twitter. So it went from, my Twitter name went from Chaps McNeely to Uncle Chaps. And so then all the Jaguars fans back in the day used to always call me Unc, and I would tweet at everybody and end it with nephew.
That is a power move.
That's fun.
Yeah. Smart. All right. Well, thank you, Chaps.
Yeah, thank you for this. I'm vibing off this. Go get one.
Appreciate it, Unc. Yeah. Check it out.
Unc.
Anything else you guys want to get to? Voicemails. We're going to do
Yes.
4th of July voicemails the week of 4th of July. So 4th of July, America, vacation,
Barbecue.
holiday, barbecue-related questions. What's that number, Mad Dog?
347-560-0401.
Also riddles, if you have any more riddles.
Yeah, I like the riddles.
Big T crushed a riddle last
Or
week.
big life advice that we've been getting. I like those too.
Yeah.
People like your guys' advice.
Yeah, any predicaments.
Yeah.
We like predicaments.
We
toxic.
We want
'Cause some of them
predicament.
have
I
been-
do think that you guys would be good at that. Between the folks on this show, if you had a predicament, I bet if you put in, you would get a pretty damn good answer.
You know who the best is? Arian.
Yeah.
Arian's actual life advice is very, very good.
Yes.
I need to get Aaron's text.
Yeah.
We need to get
Oh,
together.
appreciate it, man.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next Tuesday. And until then, love you guys.